If we had another inquiry, it doesn't have to be on the air.
Okay, so you want a referral kind of call?
Yes, if you will. Or Allie can simply call later using our name saying we got an inquiry.
Okay.
She might have misunderstood me. I don't need Allie herself on the air. Allie's going to be the one investigating it.
Perfect.
303-805-4000. 303-805-4000. Ransomware is software that can infiltrate your business through email, enabling cyber criminals to hijack sensitive information as ransom for your own data's release. Leveraging Barracuda email security with advanced threat detection can stop a ransomware attack in its tracks. As an added measure, Barracuda Backup allows you to recover your data without having to surrender to extortion. Crime doesn't pay when you protect your business data with Barracuda. Go to barracuda.com/ransomware to learn more.
Brent Ivinson, Ideal Home Loans. Talk about how you can help home buyers.
Our Ideal Home Purchase Plan that is an all-encompassing roadmap to buying your next home. Our 3-week closing guarantee where we underwrite and approve your loan up front. Our home buyer scout report where you search for your next home so that when we find the house...
Does Mark text you or anything? How, that they're having a good time? Or?
IdealHomeLoans.com.
I haven't heard a word.
Really? Is that good? Is that normally?
No, sometimes I hear from him when he's off, but he's never been on an extended vacation since he started.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Help! I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back.
Hi, Tom Martino, your Troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255 is the number. You can call if you have any gripes, if you need help, if you want information, referrals, anything that you want, we have. We have a special guest I'll bring up in a second about tax problems from Larson Tax Relief. This is a popular topic. We get an email, so we're going to have one of their staff here, an attorney, to talk about taxes if you need to, income tax, sales tax, any other tax you're burdened with, audits, whatever. If you have a question on what to do, how to get out of it, how to get a fresh start, how to negotiate, how not to negotiate, what is the best thing to do, what you never say to the IRS, all of those things we can talk about. 303-713-TALK. Okay, we have open lines. You can get right through. I do want to say we had quite a lively discussion yesterday about pharmacists and pharmacies, and mainly about Walgreens. That was mainly what it was about. The rest was just kidding around. But the Walgreens thing was true. I thought that they had stupid policies, made no sense whatsoever. They tried to insert themselves in the middle of my health care and others. But in the midst of that conversation, someone said, "Tom, you need to download Good RX." Good RX, and I did. And wow, am I happy I did. I'm going to it right now. Good RX on my phone. Put in a drug, any drug, okay? I put one in, a cyclovir, okay? I'm just taking drugs out of the air. I put in my blood pressure too. And then you give your location and you press the button that says find the lowest price, okay? And it finds the lowest price. Now, one thing I will tell you, in every single case I checked, do you know who the highest was? Every single time? Do you want to take a guess on it? The highest priced was Walgreens in every single category. Acyclovir, Losartan, antidepressants, metformin, any drug you can think of. Call me and ask me about a drug. What drug? Name a drug. Name a prescription drug. And the highest price, Walgreens, by more than double Costco, more than double Health Warehouse, more than double King Soopers, more than double Integrated Pharmacy, more than double Safeway. More than double Rite Aid, and they're buying Rite Aid, so they may ruin it. Way more than Target, but not double, and way more than Walmart. Walgreens is the highest. Name a drug, okay? I'm going to pick another one. This is a popular. I'm just picking them out of here. Let's say Flonase. I mean, that's not even prescription. Let's just do that. Let's just take Flonase. Okay, most expensive. Walgreens is not the most, but it's way down on the list. Pick anything you want, folks, in Good RX, and you will find that they are high. I don't even know what low drain is. Find prices, and you will find it's just amazing. Anyway, 303-713-TALK. Kelly is a pharmacist that wants to say something. Go ahead, Kelly. Hold on, I can't hear. Hold on. Oh, okay, go ahead, Kelly. Sorry.
Hi, it's
Hi.
a great privilege to talk to you.
What's going on?
I grew up listening to your show, and
did?
I am a yes, and I've always learned a lot from you. I am a pharmacist, and we actually do not learn how to count in pharmacy school.
You don't?
We go to we usually get a bachelor's undergrad, and then we go to school for about 4 years after that and get something called a Doctor of Pharmacy degree.
Right.
We do learn a lot about drug interactions. We go through usually 3 to 4 semesters full of medicinal chemistry.
May I ask you something, Kelly? You sound intelligent. I want to ask you something, okay? Now, did you hear the show yesterday?
I did. Okay. I listened to part of it.
Now, I want to ask you... Now, you're intelligent, so I want to ask you a question. I really do now. I'm serious. I want to ask you a question. Do you really believe that I was serious? Do you know the difference between fooling around and joking around and having fun and being serious? Do you know the difference?
Absolutely, and I think you definitely were joking around.
All right.
I guess I am sorry that for your
I mean, I had a terrible experience, but you've seen Saturday Night Live and a lot of spoofs, and they can hurt people. Yeah. Listen, when I'm saying 1 pill, 2 pill, 3 pill more, I mean, who can take that seriously? If I ruffle feathers, fine. People get insulted. I don't care. But I mean, truly, and I mean truly, if you can't tell the difference between humor and seriousness, then, well, and I'm not saying you can't, but I'm saying there's a problem. Now, I don't mind you delineating for us the education of a pharmacist, but I think people know that you have to go to school to be a pharmacist. But what I wanted to ask is another thing. Do you feel, and I want to ask now, since you're a pharmacist, do you feel pharmacists get respect?
I think it varies person to person, and I also would say that I guess in my job I view it as I am basically someone there to help serve the public. And
you know what original pharmacists did? You know what original pharmacists did? They compounded. They were literally responsible for the quality of that drug.
Absolutely.
I mean, when a doctor prescribed,
go back to that.
When a doctor prescribes something, it didn't have to go through FDA approval. And by the way, it still doesn't. If a doctor believes a certain combination of drugs will work with someone, even if unproven, they're allowed to have it compounded. And people don't understand this. The FDA only regulates drugs for sale over a wide population. They do not regulate doctor-patient drug recommendations ever. In fact, I can have a doctor recommend bee stings to me for treatment, or have a doctor recommend something else for me, and they could say, I want this compounded with that, and even if the FDA has never said it works, I can have that compounded at a local pharmacy, and that local pharmacy can make it, and it's not breaking any rules, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
So I love compounding pharmacists, by the way. They are geniuses because they figure out ways to bind stuff together and to combine things and to make things. And that's what pharmacists originally did. And right now, I truly believe pharmacists are not respected. And I'll tell you why. Because you have places like Walmart, and you have places like Walgreens, and you have places like, and you know what? What do you think they get paid? Nothing. And they get treated like clerks. That's what because in between filling prescriptions, they have to ring up your shampoo. Yeah, you watch them at Walgreens. Do you work at Walgreens?
I do not.
Do you think pharmacists are treated well at Walgreens?
Probably, I think it probably varies store to store. Probably, I think that you're bringing up a lot of good points, and I think something else is a lot of times whenever there's usually 1 to 2 pharmacists that are actually on duty, and they're supervising back there several different pharmacy technicians. Pharmacy technicians are the ones that are primarily counting pills and preparing the product. But every prescription that is sent out, should be screened by a pharmacist. We are looking for those drug interactions. We are looking to make sure that the dose is within the realm.
But you can only do the drug interactions if the patient has records with you. See, that's another thing I find puzzling. You can have a patient who goes to one pharmacy for one thing and another pharmacy for another, and you guys don't know it.
That's true to a majority of the time. We do, a lot of times if people are filling on their insurance, I sometimes can get alerts that say, oh, this was ran through the insurance also this many days ago, maybe, and then I, as a pharmacist, I will actually try to talk to that patient and say, did you actually take this medicine? And if so, then maybe that tells me that I need to take another step of contacting the doctor, saying, did you know this doctor prescribed this for this patient?
Can I ask you another question? As a pharmacist, sure. Have you ever had people call in? I wondered this. I always wondered this because of the extent addicts go through to get drugs. In fact, I've heard of addicts literally hurting themselves so they can go to an emergency room to get pain pills.
Yeah.
What I'd like to know, have you ever found or ever heard of people calling in fake prescriptions?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It happens. It happens. It's unfortunate, but there are sometimes as pharmacists we can catch those things because sometimes there's little things that are different between how they call them in. I know it was a big hassle whenever they moved hydrocodone products to Schedule 2.
What does Schedule 2 mean? What does that mean?
So certain products are placed into the potential for abuse and misuse.
I see,
Schedule 2 medications do have they have a legitimate purpose in medicine. However, they require some
you know what? Here's the deal.
Yeah.
I believe pain pills only have a legitimate use for acute pain after surgery or immediately after an injury. Any long-term use of pain pills, what the medical industry has not recognized, long-term use of pain pills never ever works, ever, yet they keep doing it. Anything more than 30 days, 30 days is outrageous. Anything more than 30 days will never work. It actually makes patients more susceptible and more sensitive to pain, thereby thinking they need to take more. It builds up a tolerance, and after the show yesterday, and Dan will attest to this. I talked off the air to a guy. I got emails, and I got many people saying, Tom, help me because I have a problem getting prescriptions refilled because I am addicted, and I'm going to heroin. People called me, said they were going to heroin because it was cheaper than pain pills. So here's what I want to tell people. I have a heart for you if you have a problem like this, okay? We've helped many people through a rehab center, I know, plus we have connections with doctors, and we can help you. So you can write to me if you need it, okay? If you are addicted to pain pills, trust me, I know that it is difficult. We have had people go from pain pills to heroin, and we've had people die that listen to this show. And a couple people we've helped. So if you need help, I just want to change that topic really quickly. Live at Troubleshooter.com. Just put addict in the subject line. I will keep it. I will keep your secret. I promise you. No one will know, and I'll talk to you. Now, Kelly, I know that you wanted to call and tell us about the education of a pharmacist. I appreciate you doing that. I'm glad that you knew humor from seriousness, and I do have to take a break. We got more coming up. One Clear Choice Garage Doors is the place to call immediately if you have a garage door problem. One Clear Choice Doors.com. 303-565-6409.
Hey, man.
How you doing, Tom?
How How are you?
Pretty good, busy. I got caught in traffic coming out.
No problem, let's get to it.
Steve, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, so Matt on 4 is the one that we were talking about yesterday. He's a little slow. And he lost $1,300 to a woman on Facebook.
Are you done with Kelly?
Yeah, yeah. Tell her thank you very much and all that.
And Susanna's talked to his social worker or whatever.
Sunny and hot today with a high near 90. Right now, clouds and sun and 73. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner. 630 K-How.
When we say money in time, we mean money when you need it. A money-free payday loan up to $700.
Is your slow time, Steve? Or it's never slow?
Yeah, no, it's never slow.
But better
Really?
than
People are
never slow.
always not
There
paying
must
their
be.
taxes. I would say maybe like the last 2 weeks of December, you know, when people just, IRS
Right
checks
before.
out, and, and then, they redo their system, so I really can't accomplish much. So that would probably be the one time where it's like I can dial it back, but January 3rd, they're right back, so, and that's levy season, because they got their quotas to re-up and everything, and they get their group managers and
So the next deadline's October, right?
well, I mean,
For the
fourth
last
quarter,
year.
941,
Yeah.
941 to do every quarter.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I do also with payroll taxes, so, yeah. And that's, those deposits are every 2 weeks. So, you don't make any deposits. they're on you. So, yeah, it's and audits are always ongoing, and,
So your biggest thing is that when people are way behind in taxes, and then they come to you and say, what the hell can I do?
Yeah, I mean, mostly like, small, mid-sized businesses that aren't making the payroll taxes. That's when the IRS gets a little bit grumpy, you can imagine.
Do they usually come to you before or after the IRS?
After.
Oh, nobody comes before and says, man,
Yeah,
I did this
on
bad
rare
thing."
occasions,
Does
they
it?
come to
Really?
me before,
Okay.
they're like,
Okay.
look, I haven't paid my taxes and I haven't received the notices yet, but the man's coming, and that's the best case, because then I can fix it before it ever becomes a fire. But more often than not, they're like, hey, I tried to run my debit card this morning and I couldn't get gas for my truck. Like, I owe $600,000 to the IRS apparently. Can you fix it? No, but we can try to make it better,
Well, you have
Band-Aid on a
the old 600,000, you got them down to getting 5.
No, I don't do that. I mean, sometimes, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's, can we save your business and make sure your employees get a paycheck next week kind of thing? Yeah, that's the major aspect. The whole pennies on the dollar thing, that's not really our game.
I don't know how people sleep knowing that's out there before that. Seriously, I don't know how they do
This is
it.
definitely, that's why we get paid up front,
Seriously, I don't know if I could sleep.
Yeah.
How do you forget that?
Personality type. A lot of my clients are just procrastinators, and
And I'm kind of a procrastinator too, but when you get something like that overhanging,
right?
I mean, I just can't.
Yeah. I mean, and some other clients are very successful companies that they're just hedging. They let me cover this debt. The IRS is not immediately, an issue. And they don't realize, the IRS is the worst bank in the world. You get destroyed by interest and penalties things every time. So they take their unauthorized loan and they get to the next month and they realize, like, crap, my $40,000 debt just turned into $100, and now then they're behind on that one. They start thinking about the next one and just pyramids, and all of a sudden they're on the phone with me. So, yeah, it's a rat race for sure.
But you're right. There's people out there that can just put it back in their mind.
I think they do.
Not a problem at all.
Yeah. I'll deal with it later, and it becomes too big of a thing. And then, as long as the officer's not knocking on their door, it's not a problem, right? And then all of a sudden it becomes a problem, and that's when, I better get a lawyer. Yeah, you should have got me 2 years ago, man.
They're always going to come knocking. Well, I guess unless he's really good.
Yeah. We do. Sometimes they're not savable, but I would say 90% of the time we can kind of be like, all right, we can kind of get you in a better position. So, just got an email right just now from.
You want to share it?
Can you imagine?
Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Okay, Ryan wants a comment on a favorite app. Go ahead, Ryan. What's your favorite app?
No, I was just actually calling in, Tom, to give you a programming idea that you have people call in to tell you about their favorite app and why they like it so much.
Yes. So?
Because, well, you discovered the Good RX yesterday.
You like it?
What's that?
Do you like Good RX?
I haven't used it.
You should, man. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, there's thousands of apps out there, and people don't know about them unless they hear about them. So,
do you have any particular you love?
I just tried that Blinker app to sell a car.
Yeah, that is a great app. That Blinker app is one of the best apps I've seen because it actually delivers. You take a picture of a car, and it'll help you value the car and sell it for you. It'll get financing for the guy calling who wants to buy it. It arranges the financing. It arranges everything, all the paperwork, free. And even if the guy doesn't want financing, it's free to you as the seller and to the buyer. It's free. So
it was a pretty easy process.
You know what that is? That is a lead generator for loans. That's the entire purpose of that app. Let's talk to Anthony. Oh, I'm sorry. He's on. Who are you talking to, Anthony, right now? He wants to talk to Larson. Larson Tax Relief with us. This is Steve Sizik. He's an attorney on staff there. They handle all kinds of tax problems, audits, and stuff like that. And in other words, if you've gotten a letter from the IRS or you haven't filed for years, you can have a problem. You can. And they fight for you. Now, sometimes they settle for you. Sometimes they... Okay, what's best case scenario? What's worst case scenario? Someone comes to you. Worst case, they go to prison? No. I mean, have you ever... No. What's worst case scenario?
That would be
what's worst case scenario? Worst case scenario is you can't negotiate anything, right?
Yeah. And
that's worst case.
If you're criminal fraud investigation, you could end up in jail. Wesley.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with you.
Not what I'm doing.
Most of the time, have you ever had people where they call in and they're flat out fraud, and you simply tell them we can't help you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to ethically represent.
But have you had people committing fraud where you talked them into contacting the IRS and making it right and it helped them out?
Right. I mean, it's a gray area. I mean, typically with respect to fraudulent actions, a lot of times they're not doing it knowingly. I mean,
right. No, I understand.
Deceitfully, and we've had people in Colorado, obviously.
So there is no fraud per se, just because you did it, right? Don't you have to have intent?
There needs to be intent, and a lot of times, most people with the IRS, ignorance actually is a defense. A lot of the time. I mean, if you're not paying your taxes because you were unaware of the the law,
will they take away the penalties?
They can, depending on
not the interest, but penalties they remove sometimes.
Right. It's not a free loan, so you're going to pay interest on those taxes that you owe. But penalties, you can take a look, and a lot of times, if unforeseen events, you have a contract that fell through.
Ignorance is truly a defense. It really is. It really is ignorance to get away from penalties and to help negotiate. Also, something called innocent spouse.
Sure.
Can you talk about that?
A lot of times it gets underplayed, or it actually gets undervalued with respect to what it can do between a spouse and, for example.
And a spouse doesn't know about their crooked husband or wife.
Exactly, and the IRS does sometimes make it difficult to actually, move forward that process. So you really need to be represented if you're going to try something called innocent spouse or injured spouse.
But it has happened.
It can be complicated.
And then aren't there innocent employees even who have bookkeeping capabilities?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, the IRS knows. I mean, okay, you had signature authority, but you didn't have, there was no way you could have paid that tax even if you wanted to.
Right.
Although they have held employees guilty, haven't they?
Absolutely, and that's one of those things where you, absolutely need a representative. When if the officer says, "I just want to have an interview with you to find out what you did," that's a red flag.
Now we can talk.
Somebody like me to make sure you're going to be okay.
We can talk about this if you want. Any questions whatsoever on taxes at all? Not accounting, but taxes. And then also, if you want to reach them when they're not here, Larson, that's with an O, Larson, LarsonTaxRelief.com. Let's talk to Anthony, who has a tax question you may or may not help with there. What's going on, Anthony?
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. What's happening?
Good. Hey, I get paid commissions every year, and I get 1099 at the end of the year. And I used to get paid through my full name, my personal name, and my Social Security number on that 1099. That's what was listed.
Sure.
Well, in May of 2016, I went and got an LLC name.
Yeah.
Went and registered and got an LLC name.
Yes.
my 1099 came for the year of 2016, and the company I work with, their tax person listed me as my personal name again with my Social Security number. Shouldn't it be on my 1099, my LLC name,
now,
and my tax ID number?
Yes, but it's...
Will I get in trouble?
It's substance over form. They just want you to pay the tax. But go ahead, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Tom's right. Is it a single member LLC?
Yep.
Okay. So essentially,
it's called disregarded.
Yeah, it's a disregarded entity.
So explain what that means. He doesn't even have to do a separate return.
Right. You don't have to file a corporate return. You basically will do a Schedule C on your 1040. So that 1099 is going to show up on your Schedule C regardless of whether it's under the EIN or under your social. And in fact, if it's under your social, it's more streamlined because it'll actually show up for the IRS as income to you. And they don't have to track it through.
The only time you have to file a tax return is when you have to when you have people in it, when there's more than one member.
Yeah.
Right. Then you'd have to file a partnership.
I've had 4 accountants. I've had 4 accountants. 2 of them told me, "Oh no, you got to get that changed, or you're going to get in trouble."
They're ignorant. They're totally ignorant because that income passes through to you completely. It's just like a sub S. So there's no, now here's where it could hurt you if it could. I'll tell you one place it could hurt you, although I don't think it would. Let's say you do a job and somebody signs a contract with you under your LLC name, and somebody gets hurt and they want to sue you, and you're clearly doing business as an LLC, and they can't get anything because your LLC has nothing. But they see that you as an individual, you have a lot of assets. So they may try to pierce the corporate veil, it's called, and they may ask or subpoena a tax return which says, ha-ha, you, even though you say you're an LLC, you got money personally for these jobs, so it's kind of a farce. You're not really an LLC. So when they try to pierce corporate veils, they look for anything they can. But of course, you could simply make the defense that as a single member, I'm not required to have things made out to the LLC. But what I'm saying is that's the only place I can even imagine someone making trouble for you, is if they're looking for any nitpicking thing they can. They even look to see if you've had corporate meetings when you have LLCs and corporations to try to make the stance that you're not really a separate entity.
What CPA is telling them that they're going to get in trouble with? Look at bad CPA. It's actually better if it's in his name because it just shoots straight through. There's no problem.
When Pro Auto Care services your car, you get a free 36,000-mile warranty, complete with roadside assistance.
So you're a full lawyer?
Yeah,
and a CPA?
I'm not a CPA. I'm an enrolled agent as well, so I can. I've got an additional accreditation to practice in front of the IRS, which I don't necessarily need, but you know, put a few more letters behind my name.
Love them letters.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I met with a tax attorney downtown. He's a CPA lawyer. He literally wrote a book on it. And then he decided he was going to go back and get his master's in tax as well. I was like, when do you ever work, man? Like, you've just been in school your entire life. And I'll tell you, he's, you know, he's got it dialed, but I think also it's nice not to have that CPA background because it allows me to kind of forest from the trees a little bit sometimes.
You got it right. I'm sure you understand it.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just not going to be able to get into you know, an AMT calculation or something like that. And to be perfectly honest, I don't want to. You know, I don't know, how does this affect my client, and how can we kind of address it?
So Dan, Matt's back on 4. He hung up, came back on, and I told him, if you hang up, this is it, we're done. Matt on line 4. He has been on before. He's the one that Suzanne's been dealing with. He has.
I don't know if he's been on.
He's on the
radio.
spectrum.
Has he been on the radio?
I think he called in before, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, I think, but he,
I've talked to him.
he said, I was scheduled today, why didn't somebody call? And I said, well, it's live radio, blah, blah, blah. But he has, he's on the spectrum, so, what is that? Autistic.
Yeah.
So he's autistic,
What is
and
on the spectrum?
on the spectrum can be severely autistic all the way down to,
Well,
yeah.
Everyone's on the spectrum.
he lives with his mom.
That's what they use, that's what they use.
That's the term they use?
That's the term they use.
I think I'm on the spectrum.
You're off the spectrum, you're off the chart. So I just wanted to give you a heads up about him. He got money taken from a gal, he gave money to a gal on Facebook. It's bad.
Okay.
Cost you $24,000 for just a few days' work. Colorado Flat Fee Realty is a much better way. On a $400,000 sale, you would save $10,300 with Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Why would you list with anyone else? Call 303-300-9660 or visit Colorado Flat Fee Realty.
Stephen, every client, when you get done with them, and you're satisfied, they send you a big thank you card, big bouquet of flowers.
I've had, clients send me a pair of skis once, and bottle of scotch, things like that. It's I try to keep a good relationship with them.
Do you work only with the tough cases? Because you don't just take cases, do you? Just one.
So personally, I take more of the difficult cases just because of my experience.
Of
but
course.
I mean, we've got 6 or 7 associates that will just grind like 10-40 cases, and those are just much more straightforward. They're not as complex.
But you don't just pick up the phone and take cases, right? Just randomly.
No, I mean, essentially
they're assigned to you, right?
Yeah, they'll come from our marketing division, or I'll get a referral from CPAs. Eric Reinemer, who comes in here sometimes, he and I work together a lot. And so if it's a case that does require, sort of more of an expertise and more complex.
Did you want to do tax law?
No, I started off in complex corporate litigation downtown, 16th Street Mall, doing the whole thing, getting on the corporate jet.
He's a very well-known tax attorney.
Yeah. I have not spoken with him, but I'll probably reach out to him.
Because he does do a lot of the same stuff you guys do. I mean, he does way more complex. I mean, he does litigation.
Yeah, so we're in that sort of limited,
right.
collections aspect of it. I'm pursuing potentially moving into doing more litigation, but I would have to separate myself from Larson and just create an independent firm. The Larsons actually support that. It's just I'd still be really connected.
Oh no, of course. So
to go into court.
Larson doesn't go all the way through litigation.
We won't. Yeah, we won't deal with criminal. We won't litigate. We won't litigate audits as much. I mean, I'll do some audits and things like that.
But how many cases out of all the ones you have actually get to a point where you need to assist?
Maybe 5%. And those ones, and I have them, and I'm telling these clients, like, look, if you wait a bit, I might have this firm going, maybe you can come work, I'll just go, I'll fly down to California and I'll go to tax court for you or whatever.
And then is it Gelt? Ted Gelt is another local, there's some really good local tax.
Yeah, Mike Marion is the guy that I spoke with. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino. We have Larson Tax Relief in the house. Their staff attorney. We're talking about problems, questions, complaints. Listen, we have a lot going on, and I want you to stay tuned. I will take your calls, every one of them, and I promise I'll try to get through these calls efficiently. I want to tell you about BioT because I just don't go a day without getting emails about it. And I want to tell you that it's an implant of a pellet. This pellet is like a grain of rice. Because somebody wanted to know, is it surgery? Not really. It's a little incision, and they insert it in the fatty part of your hip. And it's really a natural delivery because it secretes with your circulation. So the more you do, the more it secretes. And yes, women are on it too. So that's another question I always get. It does have testosterone. Women need testosterone. Also, it can be converted to estrogen as well. And then there are estrogen supplements and also supplementation and also progesterone and also thyroid they can do. But you really need to see a BioT practitioner, a doctor, to find out. And that's what I love about it. You can go to a BioT doctor and they don't have clinics, BioT clinics. They're just affiliated doctors. So these doctors can take care of other things for you too if you want. I made one my primary care physician. But anyway, to find one, you go to biotmedical.com. You don't have to give up your primary, but you can. biotmedical.com. And somebody else asked, am I really doing it? Honest to God, I am. I do it 3 times a year, 2 to 3 times a year. It's really every like 5 months or so. So figure it out. So a lot of people, the most anyone I know has to do was 3 times a year. but it's, in my opinion, inexpensive compared to the shots and all the other stuff. BioTMedical.com. So I want to talk to Kelly because this runs near and dear to my heart. I had a tooth problem one time, and it was a root canal that turned out to do massive damage to my ears and stuff. What's going on, Kelly?
Hi. Yeah, something happened to me similar with the root canal. It actually turned it into a sponge.
Kelly, your cell phone for some reason is going in and out. So let me get this straight. Did you get a root canal?
I had a root canal that destroyed a tooth, turning it to sponge.
Okay.
Whatever they put in the root canal.
Right. Hold on. Could you do me a favor, Dav? Let's figure out, because she's been waiting, let's figure out how to talk to her, okay? I can't talk to her now on this connection somehow, and I know it's not us. Laura's got a comment on pharmacies. Go ahead, Laura.
Good morning, Tom. How
Hi.
are you today?
I'm doing good. Well, I'm doing well. Did you hear the beginning of the show?
I did.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. My husband was seriously injured in a terrible accident, and his back was broken in 4 places.
Ooh.
His leg was almost completely broken off his body.
Ooh.
He was in the hospital for 3 weeks, and they did massive surgery. They put him back together again. And when we left the hospital with the paper prescriptions to go to Walgreens, because it was a 24-hour Walgreens, and it was on a Saturday night, believe it or not, when they cut him loose from the hospital. So he was on very heavy doses, and still is, on heavy doses of morphine and oxycodone because of the extreme injuries that he got.
Sure.
We had to sit in the parking lot in our car for 3 hours.
Why?
At Walgreens. The reason they told us was it was going to take them 3 hours to fill the 2 prescriptions was because they were narcotics.
But why did it take him 3 hours?
I do not know, but it was so ridiculous. He was in such pain.
Why didn't you go somewhere else?
There is no place else on a Saturday night.
Oh.
So you're kind of stuck with like 3 or 4 different Walgreens in the city.
I just don't understand, though, that's weird, 3 hours. It just doesn't make sense to me on a Saturday night. It's not like people were in front of you.
I was furious, and it made me so angry that I almost went stomping in there, and, you know, I could have made an ass out of myself because I was so furious about it. But, you know...
So, Laura, how long ago was this accident?
The accident was in May.
Oh, man, we're talking recent. So, yes, he's still on pain meds, but you know the danger there of the continual pain therapy. There are longer-term solutions, but I mean, I'm not going to preach to you. In any case, I hope he's doing well. Is he doing well?
He is progressing along. Now, Tom, I needed to tell you, we have not seen medical doctors. We're in our mid-50s, and we walked away from Western allopathic medicine 20 years ago. And we don't take any prescription medications. We don't have any history of taking prescription medications with our Social Security numbers and the big database and all that. Because let's all get real. There is a massive database where they're tracking everything.
Right.
But, so anybody could look up who we are and know that we have not been involved in Western allopathic medicine.
So what's the point?
We do know that he is going to have to wean off the medications in the future.
Right.
And we know that it takes a long time to do that. But, you know, it's a matter of trauma-based medicine is extremely important, okay? But everything can be abused or everything can be used as a tool properly. And
You're right. You're right, of course.
To be treated like a heroin addict because you go to get a pain medication from a pharmacy is just ludicrous.
You know what? I've noticed that. Here's what I've noticed with Walgreens. Somehow they must have been really put on notice when it comes to any kind of narcotic or scheduled medication, because I've had other people tell me that they look at you as if you're some kind of lowlife when you and really, you know, that's what I get. That's what I'm getting at with Walgreens. They have attitude, and they shouldn't have attitude. They should just, you know, shut up and serve the public. You know what I'm saying? And it's not their business, even if you were even if you were taking pain meds improperly, it's really between you and your doctor. I mean, if you get a prescription and it's a legit prescription, they should fill it and not get involved. And I mean that. I mean, it's not their business. But they do get involved, and that's what I don't like about them. They literally get involved. We had a woman who couldn't get an antibiotic filled because it was too soon. And I have had other people with other drugs where they can't get it filled. They say no. According to our records, you've had it to, even if you're self-paying. Nope, you have to wait a few days. Because according to our records, you still should have some pills. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's the part of Walgreens that is the most ridiculous. There are other parts, but that's one of them. Okay, let's go back to Kelly. Kelly, how is your phone doing?
I think it's doing better.
Okay,
How does it sound?
so you had a root canal, and then it went bad. What happened? The other tooth got ruined, or the one with the root canal, did you have to have it pulled?
The one for the root canal prior to that had to be pulled.
Okay.
Then I had the root canal. However, the root canal was drilled into my sinuses.
Yeah.
And
that's a
going to
common mistake.
Oh, it is? Okay. So it's been about 7 years, and my nose drips off and on that side where it was.
Have you had it truly checked to make sure you don't have a low-grade infection brewing in there?
I've had it checked, and they took x-rays and shows that it was drilled into my sinuses, and there is a low-grade infection.
Yeah, and that is very, very difficult to get rid of. If you still have, is it still a root canal? Is it still there? Because if so, you should have it removed.
It's no longer a root canal. It's a
Is it an implant?
Implant.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the implants are fine. I mean, did they put material on the end of the implant to block like artificial bone?
No, it's exposed.
But I mean,
Part of it is exposed.
do they have they covered up the cavity so it's your sinus is no longer open, right?
No, the sinus is open. They didn't do anything, and I've got a small infection.
Well, see, they can take that implant out and put it's, for lack of a better word, like an artificial bone. It's like a plastic, or it's something that dries and adheres to the bone, almost like a graft, and it blocks access to your sinuses. I'm surprised they didn't do that around the implant.
They did not, and I went back to the doctor after another dentist said, "You've got an infection there."
Yeah.
And he said there's no infection, but he prescribed a oral antibiotic of a liquid to rinse my mouth with.
Why don't you just see some good dentists? I'm serious.
Okay.
I would suggest a doctor that has both an MD and a DDS. That was one of the few that really got to the bottom of my problem. And if you want, I can do that off the air.
That sounds great. The other thing, too, is I did want to mention about Walgreens.
Yes.
I did have a prescription filled by Walgreens. I was so thankful to the pharmacist.
Yes.
They called me back, said the neurologist, the doctor that I went to, the dose was way too high. It could have killed me if they filled that prescription.
Well, good. He caught it. And it was Walgreens. Well, that's good. Yes. I mean because I mean for as many mistakes that pharmacies make across the country, it's good to hear that they caught a problem. You know, I want to tell you about Flexident because we've had a lot of hail damage, and I don't want you to get ripped off because there are a lot of schlock paintless dent repair people, and it's not just something that's easy to do. If it's not done right, it can ruin the whole repair. But I love Flexident because they've been around so long, 40 years in business. Nick has been doing this, and he has master certification. He also has techs that are certified. So Flexident is the one we endorse for paintless dent repair. Your car will be like new. Downtime is minimal, and it's the preferred way to repair according to insurance. 303-619-6273. All over the Front Range. 303-619-6273. FlexidentColorado.com.
This report is brought to you by Hallmark Hallmark Gold Crown Store.
On the north end of town, still big delays on southbound I-25 at 120, and the crash there has all but the right lane blocked. Police and rescue vehicles are on the scene. Northbound has reopened. There's a rollover wreck being cleared northbound 225 at Tamarack. That's got those off-ramps from I-25 blocked there as well. Off-highway, well, there's some intermittent openings of Sheridan in both directions between 32nd and 35th. They're still investigating that head-on collision from this morning. Again, if you can, just avoid that stretch for now. The weather forecast. Sunny and hot today with a high near 90. Right now, clouds and sun and 73 in Denver. With your traffic and weather,
What is a registered agent?
30 K-How.
Father's Day is
So an enrolled agent
that's what I meant.
is a registered agent could be any number of things. That's for incorporating a registered agent. But enrolled agents, basically you have to take a series of tests, 3 tests with respect to various IRS collections and filing. And it allows you to, if you're not an attorney, it allows you to practice before the IRS in audits and appeals and in collections. So you have to be either an enrolled agent, a CPA, an attorney, or an officer of a company to actually call in and represent that company at appeals hearings and things like that. So, just say you're running a bookkeeper or accountant can't show up at an audit and represent the client or represent them in front of a revenue officer. EA kind of gives me the ability to, I guess, bolster the credibility of the tax attorney license. I don't know. I mean, it was one of those things that the Attorney General wanted me to get the enrolled agent because they're, as an attorney, you're not supposed to solicit directly. And even though I'm kind of like corporate counsel, I'm not a marketing guy calling directly. My staff or my marketing staff does.
What does that mean?
You can't call a potential client directly. They have to come to you. That's an ethical model rules of ethics for an attorney. So you can put up a big billboard and you can say it's a strong arm or whatever, but you can't pick up the phone and say, hey, I saw you got in an accident.
Oh, really? Okay.
Could be an ambulance chaser.
Yeah, I mean, literally an ambulance chaser is what they'd be doing, right?
Hey.
So you can't do that. So
we live on our Facebook on my login. Did you try my login?
No, I have not.
He said he fixed it.
Who said that?
Oh,
Mikey? Okay, so I did try it last night, so I'll try it after the show.
Yeah, we don't have to switch now, but
that's great.
Here's what he said. I checked Facebook. After clearing the logged-in sessions, it looks like the circle went away, and I think I can do it. So I'll log in right now.
Okay.
It won't interfere with anything.
When I talked to him last night, he thought the cache might have been all full, so he was getting.
You know what? I cleared cache today on something and it cleared up a bunch of problems. I don't know why that happens. Why cache screws things up?
And why just his? Well, I mean, why just yours and not Mark's?
It's a flexible term loan. IdealHomeLoans.com. 303-867-7000. Equal opportunity lender regulated by DORA. NMLS 136756. For terms and conditions, call 844-45-IDEAL.
Mary, you're glowing gold. I know I joined the Fuel Rewards.
We're having trouble with our Facebook.
It's the weirdest thing in the world, though.
Just happened like that. We couldn't upload anything. Comment.
The Russians got to you.
Hey. Comey testified against us.
That just happened. What kind of friends you got?
That's the thing. Yeah.
Can you just recreate a new profile, or?
Well, it works on Mark's profile, but not on Tom's. So Comey testified against Tom and stopped.
That was it. That was it. Press the red button, man. Yeah, got Zuckerberg over there.
Yeah.
Pulling the strings. That's interesting.
And then, like I said, there's not a lot to go.
We've tried it.
Facebook.
Right.
We've tried it for numerous computers, right?
Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know where you'd go. I mean, you're like a Facebook. Because don't call line from Facebook, I can imagine.
Yeah, like
numerous networks.
I think it's just
numerous IPs.
Would our terrorists be able to do it?
What?
The terrorists? Or he doesn't do that kind of thing?
No, he doesn't handle that. Hello, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. We got a lot to talk about. We have
Larson Tax Relief here and talking about back taxes, back tax problems, audits. and we'll get to a few of those questions coming up. I just want to remind you that they're here. So, I would like to go through these calls as quickly as possible. Then I have a question about Facebook that if anyone's an expert and they can answer this question, I mean, if you can help us solve this question, we'll give you a free helicopter ride. You know, a free helicopter tour. How about that? Okay, hold on. Let's go to the phones. And Walter, he has a comment on pharmacies. He's a retired doctor. Go ahead, Walter.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can, Walter. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I'm a retired doc and did pain management, and I'm not totally opposed to the Walgreens. I found the same issues sometimes with other pharmacies, but pharmacies in general, as well as doctors, are all under scrutiny now by their national professional organizations and their concerns about lawsuits, and so they're tightening up what they'll do.
I understand.
And if they give you a 3-hour delay, they should tell you, but it may have as much to do with when they can get it from a different pharmacy. For example, they may not have it on stock,
sure,
and they're going to get it, and they should have that. But in general, my concern is that the pharmacists do have the right to refuse a prescription legally, according to their own ethics, if they feel that there's a risk to the patient. And so it's not just between the patient and the doctor. Sometimes it should be, because I think pharmacists make mistakes. I had one that refused to give a perfectly decent one because she had an issue with a patient. But they do have that right, just as nurses have a right not to administer a medication.
Well, yeah, we're talking in the strictest sense of ethics and legalities. But Walter, let me just give you just real life. Let's just talk real life. Let's say you have a guy that you can see by his record, he goes there every single month and refills the same prescription, and he goes, you know, every single month. His doctor calls it in. It's routine. And this one time, the clerk says you're too early.
Yes.
And you say, well, it was convenient, and the doctor gave me this prescription because he was going on paternity leave, so I'm bringing it in now. And I said, I still have some. They said, well, we have to wait. And I said, but why? You know, they said, because according to our records, you should have some left. I said, well, I do. I said, but why do I have to come in when it's empty? They said, well, we have a concern. And I said, in other words, you're inserting yourself into my health care. Here's the deal. I mean, it wasn't pain pills. I mean, and they did this to a woman with antibiotics. They did it to another guy with metformin. They've done it to people with water pills. They've done it to people that, you know, what are they doing? What are they really doing?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and that is wrong. Patients should be able to get their scripts filled prior to their running out for just exactly that reason.
I mean, if it was 10 days ahead of time or even, you know, a week or two ahead of time, but we're talking about 2 days. I had to wait 2 days. It was so ridiculous.
That's not right, and it may not only be Walgreens, but it may be Walgreens has that policy.
Sure.
You could even get your pain medicine 5 to 10 days early, because you don't want to run out of that or you'll go into withdrawal waiting for the refill.
Yeah.
And I think you err on the side of the patient, not on the side of the litigation.
But it is unfortunate that everyone is afraid of lawsuits and litigation. And you said you were in pain management. And Doc, you know, we have created a massive number of addicts.
Well, I don't know who the we is.
Well, a society.
There are legitimate patients who take it, and they take it regularly for years, and they do fine. And then there is an addict population that's separate from the patient population that abuses it. There's an occasional patient that may get habituated to it, but don't always turn into addicts. And part of that is maybe that doctors are afraid to prescribe sufficient amounts of medication to give you good pain relief. So they start taking extra because they've seen it help some, and then what winds up is they're taking more medication than they should because of the pain and maybe overdose.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, we don't have time for a long discussion, but unfortunately, you build up tolerance to it no matter what. I've never heard of anyone taking the same dosage for a long period of time. We got more coming up. Ideal Home Loans. For your next ideal home.
You know, he can talk about it if he wants. We don't have to hang up if he has more to say, because, you know, but if he does, that's fine.
Back to 30 years. Pick whatever term you want. If you refinance or you purchase and rates go down, they will refinance you free of all lender fees. 303-867-7000, idealhomeloans.com. Equal opportunity lender regulated by DORA and NMLS 136756. For terms and conditions, call 844-45-IDEAL.
Ransomware is software that can infiltrate your business through email, enabling cyber criminals to hijack sensitive information as ransom for your own data's release. Leveraging Barracuda email security with advanced threat detection can stop a ransomware attack in its tracks. As an added measure, Barracuda Backup allows you to recover your data without having to surrender to extortion. Crime doesn't pay when you protect your business data with Barracuda. Go to barracuda.com/ransomware to learn more.
This is Denver's Talk Station. More with Martino after the news on 630 KHOW, an iHeartRadio station. KHOW, Denver.
NBC News Radio. I'm Lisa Carter. After many questions for the judge, the jury in the Bill Cosby indecent assault trial is deadlocked.
The word came from the jury room just after 11 local time this morning that the jury was deadlocked and unable to reach a verdict on any of the 3 counts against
Well, that
Cosby.
means that what happens?
They can retry it if they want.
Order asking them to return to deliberation.
Line it up again, let's do the whole thing over. It only took like 3 days, so they probably will retry it.
President Trump says
The defense had what, like a 6-man defense?
But deadlock means that they must not have a compelling case.
Just depends. I mean, you could have somebody in there, you can deadlock with one juror, right? So there's one guy like, you know what, I love Bill Cosby. You know, I'm never going to say he's guilty, you know? So it's very possible. So it's hard to say. I mean, they can retry cases pretty much until you get one or the
But
other.
is a great fighter. Police is among 5 people who were shot by a gunman who opened fire on a GOP practice for a congressional baseball game. Police are hospitalized in critical condition. The father of the American prisoner recently released from North Korea said he doesn't buy the
I'll be going in about 20 minutes.
So will I.
This water.
So will I.
Send the intern for a cup of coffee. And
Just remember, everybody hears this.
I need a grande vanilla latte. Yesterday.
To have kept his condition secret.
Tom drinks so much, that's what he's got.
Yeah, exactly.
Fell into a coma shortly after he was
Gotta
sentenced
stay
to
caffeinated.
15 years hard labor in the country.
The
Kelly Martin, University of
attorney in my
Cincinnati
office,
Medical
young
Center,
young millennial type, and I say that being just right on the cusp of being a millennial, but I'm training her, and I was like, look, you know, I understand that you don't want to like get into coffee, but you need to start drinking coffee because you're never gonna make it, man. You come in here, the first 2 hours of your day is just a shot because you're sitting here staring at emails. Like, you need to get going. We only have so many hours a day. There's too much to do. So she did after enough berating. Lo and behold, she's been more productive, man.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You've seen the difference?
Oh yeah.
You don't think it's just because she
Well, I mean, obviously you got
understands?
my boot on her butt too, but it definitely has been, it's given her little more get up and go in the morning, which is good.
See, if you don't drink coffee, you get a headache?
No, but I mean, it's getting to that point, you know, like I crave it in the morning.
Yeah, I like the taste.
Yeah.
It's not that I feel like I need it to pick me up. But
Right.
I just like to taste
When I'll go like camping and stuff, like I won't have coffee for days, and it shouldn't affect me.
And you don't get a headache. Some people get headaches.
Right, yeah. I think that, and it's a rare occasion that I go in the office and I don't have coffee. So I've never really tried it. And like, hey, can I, get through the full day? I just would be like, I want that coffee.
And for me, it's definitely a taste thing.
Yeah.
And I don't like weak coffee.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just like drinking hot water.
Right.
It's got to have some taste to it.
And I actually do drink like hot water. It's just the water with like local honey for my allergies. So I'll drink that too in the morning. So I'll do like a cup of coffee and I'll do that like every day.
So they think that local honey does that because it does.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I wouldn't wouldn't say it if it didn't, but I used to have really, especially this time of year with that yellow pollen stuff that gets on your car, I just miserable. You know, I couldn't see like the whole thing.
And so you do that all through the year?
Every day, just a cup of hot water with local honey and lemon in it, and then I just like, you know, really
Couldn't you just put it with your coffee too?
I could put the honey in my coffee, but that'd be weird, I think.
Why?
I could try it.
Coffee?
So I do just regular coffee, and then afterwards I'll have like, you know, like local honey for my allergies. And
does the local honey work for your allergies?
That's what I was saying. It works really well. Like I started doing it last year. It's freaking night and day, man.
No, it is.
Insane. Like,
So where did you get that from?
I haven't had Claritin in King Supers.
No. Where did you get the idea for doing it?
Oh, like I heard it on the radio.
YouTube?
Or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
YouTube's got a lot of stuff, and I do. You just got to watch, because there's people
here just putting random stuff on there. But I was like, well, this is something I can easily try.
Right.
You know.
Oh yeah, it can't hurt you.
Exactly. You know, I've got the water already in the office,
Right.
so it's like, all right, you know, and darn, I'm getting hydrated if not, right?
Right.
So yeah, I've been a big proponent of it. I'm like,
Good. Well, that's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah, I don't know if it works for everybody. It works for me, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
And you're right. Just like everything doesn't work for everybody.
Exactly.
And
Yeah, and I actually didn't notice the difference. I ran out of the local stuff, and so I just started using this regular like Target brand, and I started getting things started kicking back on. I was like, back to King Supers.
Wow.
Yeah, the local Colorado. Don't get that Brazilian honey. Go get that Colorado honey.
So say you take a trip to Brazil.
You could, I guess you could.
And then you probably want to switch it a little over. How long did it take to kick back in and help?
2.5 months or so.
Really?
Yeah. Because I just had a new bottle. I just switched it out. I was like, I'll see what happens. You know? And it was literally like, all right, and I'm starting to get allergies again. You know,
I'm back.
Yeah. Take off. It's miserable.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
There you go. You should give it a try.
Well, I don't have any allergies.
Oh, then you don't have to worry about it.
No,
Yeah,
no.
so you're good.
I don't know if I do or not. I probably do. I mean, I have sniffles all the time.
I used to have to, like, if I would play golf, I'd have to, like, just Claritin myself up, you know, so that I could see the ball. Just to like, you know, tighten it on me.
That's a good thing. I'm going to pass that on.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Help! I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can. I'm feeling down.
Hey, Tom Martino here, and I welcome you the most important part of the show, because you can spread the word, tell people about the show, help information referrals, and there's strength in numbers, and we have all of it ready to go to work for you. That's what I do. Media with a purpose, I call it. I started calling it that almost 40 years ago, and that's just in Denver, by the way. I've been doing this even longer than that, so it's hard to believe, but yes, it's true. Let's see. I'll be 64 this year, minus I started at the tender age at a newspaper at 19. Of course, I was in the mailroom, so that's 45 years, and then from the mailroom, I started doing a little column, and the rest is, as they say, history. So what I try to do is every single day make a difference and help at least one person directly, and we help many more indirectly, and I mean help like solve a problem. What's the latest solved problems we have, Daff? What do we have? And of course, Susanna and Mark are on vacation. Deputy Dan, what comes to mind? What's the latest actual solved problem we have? Anything come to mind? What do we have, Dan?
Oh, we just had one this morning. I had to look it up.
Okay, look it up.
They said that.
Gary's got a question for our guest today. Larson Tax Relief. Steve Sissick is with us today, attorney at law with Larson Tax Relief. They do tax negotiations, audits. They do. They also do tax problems. They work out settlements. Gary, what's your question?
Hey, Tom. I appreciate you taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I owned a business years ago, a flooring business, and I closed that business down in 2004. 7 years ago, myself and my ex-wife, we filed taxes, and I guess for the year 2000, I owed back taxes. Included that in the bankruptcy. Never heard anything from.
Hold on. When did you file a bankruptcy? You didn't even mention the bankruptcy. When did you file the bankruptcy?
About 7 years ago.
7 years ago. And at the time, so what year would that have put you in? 2000, what? 2009, 2008? When was it?
Yeah, I think it was about 2009.
Okay, so in 2009, when you did a bankruptcy, Gary, were those taxes how old? The back taxes?
9 years.
Okay, and they never pursued, and the returns had been filed.
Yes.
Okay, because that's required, that the returns be filed and that they lay on the books for how long before you can get out of them there, Steve?
Typically it's 10 years, but if you file bankruptcy...
No, I thought in a bankruptcy it doesn't...
Oh, sorry. Well, so the collection statute for the IRS is 10 years.
Oh, it is?
But bankruptcy, if it's older than 3 years old, you can include it in the bankruptcy.
Okay, so if the back tax, but it has to be an actual back tax owed, meaning you had to have filed, not
Correct.
estimated.
Had been on the books.
So you had to file, it has to be on their books. What they're really saying is if the IRS sits on it for 3 years, you get to declare it a bankruptcy. So you had declared how much in bankruptcy? How many back taxes?
It was 20,000.
20,000 from year what?
2000.
That was it. Okay, and by the way, what you filed but didn't pay, and they never came after you?
Never came after.
Why? That's odd.
Never received a letter,
okay,
a statement, anything.
All right, so now, you filed bankruptcy, so what's happening now?
Okay, so because of installing floors, my knees were shot. I've been unemployed since 2004. 2 years ago, I started working part-time. My grandkids came and stayed with me last year, so I filed at the end of last year and got the earned income tax credit for them.
But you've been filing every year, right?
I wasn't working.
Well, you don't have to file, Steve, at all, right?
It depends. I mean, if the IRS...
I guess you don't. If you don't make
enough money, typically you don't have to file. But if you've had previous years where you had income, typically you're going to have to file a return, or else they're going to assess a return against you.
But what do you do? So if you're suddenly unemployed and made no money at all, like what if I just don't work next year? I still have to file? That doesn't make sense to me.
You don't necessarily have to file, but in cases where you've had taxes...
Can I file and say I lost my job or I'm not working anymore?
You literally file a return with zeros on it.
All right, anyway, so let's put it this way then. You didn't file for how many years? 3 years, 4 years?
Since 2004.
Oh, you haven't filed for 12 years. And then you filed. And then what happened?
Last year, like I said, my grandkids, and I started working part-time.
I understand. So okay, let's get to the problem. We understand. So now you file a tax return in what year?
2016.
Okay.
They kept it, the earned income tax credit. So my question is, since I haven't heard
why did they keep it?
I have no idea.
Did you receive a notice confirming how they applied those refunds?
To the 20,000 for the year 2000. And
okay, so they are going back to that debt. They're not showing that debt satisfied through bankruptcy. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting because it was satisfied in bankruptcy. So it was in your bankruptcy, you declared it, and it was discharged, right?
Yeah, discharged and never heard anything from them.
So you should tell them, you should notify someone and say that they withheld it in error. I mean, right? That's what... Steve?
Yeah, that notice actually allows... There's a number on that notice that you received that if you want to object to the... seizure of your refund.
Yeah.
You can give them a call. There's actually appeals rights.
Larson does that, but it's not going to be worth it because how much is the refund?
It was $4,000.
Yeah. So it's not going to be worth it.
Would outstrip that, so you'd have your cost benefits not there.
Yeah,
definitely take a look. Look on irs.gov and look for taxpayer advocate. You can file for a taxpayer advocate request. And
I'm sure they just show it as a collection, and they took it automatically. And it's very simple, Gary. You definitely do not owe those taxes if it was done right. We'll go to Matt now. Matt, welcome to the show. What's going on, Matt?
Hello?
Hi, Matt. How can I help you? This is Tom.
Yeah, hi, Tom. How you doing?
I'm doing good. What can I do for you, sir?
Yeah, Tom, I was like, I was on Facebook, and I got, like, Facebook love dating scam.
How did that happen? You were on Facebook? You had your own page?
Yes, I did.
And do you still have your own page, Matt?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And did somebody solicit you? How did it happen?
Well, somebody caught me in all this. It seems like, you know...
Well, how did you get caught, in other words? You mentioned Facebook. So did someone message you on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay. And what did they message you?
Well, what they did was... Well, what the person did is...
It's a girl?
It was a girl.
What did she do?
Well, we got in contact and all that, and on Facebook.
Okay, so Matt, somebody basically, I don't know what they called it, but they messaged you on Facebook. It was a girl, and what, did she come on to you?
Something like that.
Okay, so you guys got to know each other on Facebook.
Well, we were on this. Also, there's all those other connections. It's called Hangouts.
Okay, and what happened then?
We kind of been chatting we've been kind of chatting on that.
Hangouts. What is that part of Facebook?
No, it's a different like text message. And
stuff, okay. Hangout. Is that like a Google thing? Hangout, Google Hangout. Is it okay?
Yeah, because
all right.
There's all these things that they put in your cell phone.
So let's go to the problem. Where did this girl live?
Well, with her phone, with the area code is in Wisconsin, but I think she's located in New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Why do you think that?
Because I have an address where I've been sending the money with money.
Money. Hold on. Wait a minute. You sent money. So how do you know it's just not a catfish? Do you know what a catfish is?
Yeah, I know what a catfish is.
Not a real catfish. You know what I mean. Symbolically, what a catfish is?
Well, probably I don't know about that catfish.
I'm going to tell you. Hold on. Especially when you said there's money involved. I have to help you. I suspect something bad is going on. By the way, you heard that woman call in about her tooth, that root canal. Did you know that can also cause hearing problems? That's right. Tinnitus, not literally. Tinnitus, they say, can come from bad root canals or infections. I believe that's how I got my tinnitus, after I had what's called mastoiditis in that mastoid bone near my ear. In any case, the treatment for tinnitus is here. And it's not just a temporary treatment. It is permanent as far as we know right now. But if you do this treatment, you get to keep it anyway, so you can redo it if you need it in years to come. But so far, people have been finding relief for years and years. It's called Desincra. And Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Centers are the ones with this system, and they will let you try it out to see if it's making progress before you commit to it. They also let you try out hearing aids. That's what I love about them. Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. Call them for relief from tinnitus and also help with your hearing. 303-534-0163. That's 303-534-0163.
L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center. There's still big backups on the north end of town on southbound I-25. That earlier wreck at 120th, that's long gone, but there was a crash in the backup southbound I-25 near the 470 interchange, so watch out for delays on the north end still. Back in town, well, there's still some heavy traffic downtown on I-25, both directions, pretty much between Alameda and the I-70 interchange, so watch out for that. And watch out westbound I-70, stop and go from Havana past I-225.
The weather forecast: sunny and hot today with a high near 90. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and a low around 59. Right now, a few clouds in the sky at 76. With
So Tom, do you know why they call it catfishing?
6:30 K-How.
It's kind of funny. I looked it up.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to buying a car,
Because the fishermen used to put a catfish in among their cod when they caught them, so it'd nip at their tails and keep them active, and so keep the fish fresher. That's what it,
Keep them moving around.
right.
So that's bad news.
So this is what they do as far as catfishing on the internet.
I did not type that wrong. The guy does have advice on IRS and opioids. Just saying, he knows a little bit about every. It goes together. I'm Daphne, by the way. Steve, nice to meet you. So, and I told Matt still on hold. I told him to hold on, and he said, I really like this. So,
By the way, he does not sound slow to me at all.
yeah, he jumps from one thing to
But he
another
doesn't-
sometimes.
Doesn't stay on task.
He does. That's the thing. He doesn't stay on task. So you're doing.
Well, that sounds a lot like me, so okay.
No, Tom,
No,
we
I
are
mean,
not
really.
talking bad. No.
High functioning.
No, he will start. He could start talking about his friend scheduling work on the front yard, which he's done a couple times. But he's doing really good. So.
How do you make sure you get the lowest rates for either a refinance or purchase, or getting the right loan for you and not the one they want to sell you? Take AIM, Affordable Interest Mortgage, 720-895-0500. We have been offering...
When I talked to him, I said, you sure this isn't a guy? Oh, no, no. I know she liked me.
Paperless loan application, quick loan pre-approval so your offer is accepted on your dream home. Purchases with only 1% down and no mortgage insurance. Take AIM, 720-895-0500. Keep cash out for that home.
Make sure you forward any of those emails that addicts might send that need help.
Pay off your home in half the
Forward
time
it to
without
me.
changing one penny of your spending habits.
You got it.
Call 720-895-0500 to find out how. Take AIM. CFPB stated that the consumer has spent over $13 billion in fees on their mortgage.
So something we just, I know you asked about, I should have had that problem solved. Renewal by Anderson, they gave the woman's money back. Remember that one? Real from Colorado Springs.
The best way to fix hail damage on your car is with Flex Colorado. Serving Denver nearly 40 years.
Yes. And, yeah.
He started sending him checks, but he hasn't sent him anything in the last month. So should we get him back on?
So he was the one that took money, and what did he do in
He
return?
just spray painted. Like he had like an unfinished shed or something that was on his
He just
property.
spray painted the grass around it like where he was going to be doing some work.
And that was it.
Boy, it's been a while.
Yeah, and he went back to the
And wasn't he the guy saying he really was trying, and he was, didn't he cooperate? Was he kind of...
He called in, no, this was a known bad guy.
Yeah, you said that you knew him because he was in Hawaii. Because he's from Hawaii. His car's in
I think it's Hawaii, California, Colorado.
And so what did he come on the show? Nigel?
I don't know if he came on, I think he didn't want to be on the show, but I think he called in there and
Oh
talked
yeah,
to
he
Suzanne.
was really upset. Yeah, he
Yeah.
called in. He didn't want to be on the show.
Was
but
he a nasty meeting?
I don't know. Suzanne.
So bottom line is, he paid the guy a few payments.
he gave him $1,500. Him and Nigel paid Josh back $1,500. But that's it, from $17,000. And the DA said that there's still nothing they can do because it looks like he started the work. But all he did was spray paint.
It's still the Contractors Trust Act, so the DA is full of shit. It doesn't, they say the money held in trust must be used for the job. That takes it out of the civil realm. You know what? We ought to call that DA's office down there, and who is it, Pueblo?
Pueblo's just not an amazing city.
Well, we ought to call the DA and say, look, this is a clear-cut, problem with the Contractors Trust Act. He has money in trust that he obviously spent elsewhere. It's a clear-cut case.
Nigel, that was this to me.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino, your troublemaker for some, troubleshooter for others. Help information and referrals. I love it. I really do. Don't tell anyone, but I'd probably do this for volunteer. I would volunteer to do this. Later on in life, I will. But I've done this so long that I find myself butting in. Like when I hear people talking, I say, like, no. And it's like, I feel like I need to come to the rescue. It's weird. Okay, guys, listen. I need your help on Facebook. I need you to just tell me if you ever had this problem, okay? We have a Facebook page, and obviously, with my operation, it's what they call, what is a public figure page or whatever. It's not a personal page, but it's still a page, okay? And we have multiple logins. Daphne, do personal Facebook pages allow more than one person to log in with different login credentials? So in other words, can you have your mom log in under her name and assign her permissions? And I don't even know if regular pages allow it or not, just personal pages. Because I know multiple people can sign in using the same name and the same password, but can you have multiple users? In any case, anyone who has a business website or something or Facebook page, listen up and see if you can help me. I have a Facebook page. It's Referral List, right? And we're going to have others, but right now it's Tom Martino, it's Referral List, and I'm on Facebook. A lot of you watch us live on Facebook. If I log in with my name and my password, the page loads but will not work. It doesn't show my timeline, and I can't post anything at all. Just can't. The timeline doesn't show up, and I can't post anything. No matter where we log in from, we have tried multiple computers, multiple IPs, and multiple locations, multiple networks, multiple broadband services, and I can't log in using my email and my password. No, I can log in, but I can't execute any commands. If Mark, he's on vacation, and Suzanne, they logged in using their name and their password, and they can get on, and they can post. In fact, in order to do Facebook Live today, Dan, you had to log in as Mark, right?
Right. Only way I can get on.
If you log in as me, it won't work.
Not at all.
Why? We have never found anything so queer in our lives. We can't imagine. We don't know what's wrong. It's just weird. So if you have any ideas, I mean, I don't, and our IT guy doesn't. And speaking of Facebook, see, Matt just reminded me of it. That's why I'm talking about it. Matt got onto Facebook, and he was hit on by some woman came on to him, some girl, or we think it is. It could be some guy posing as a girl. It could be some old lady. I mean, you know, a lot of times, Matt, people on the internet can appear to be one thing, and they can give you false pictures and be someone else. When somebody does that, it's called catfishing. And I'm not sure why it's called catfishing, but that's what it's called. It's where they appear to be someone else. Like there might be some guy who's sitting in his basement having fun pretending he's a girl, and he gets all these guys interested in him to send money. We don't know that, but I'm saying it may not even be a girl, or it might be some fat old lady. We don't know, Matt, because you've never actually seen her, right?
No, I haven't. The only way I've seen her is on the Facebook page.
Exactly. What is her Facebook page? I'd like to look it up.
It's the
Stacy
Wilford. W-I-L-F-O-R-E-D.
Okay, W-I-L-F-O-R-E-D. Wilford, right?
Right.
Okay, let's look up her Facebook page. Now tell me, how did you get to be friends and then money? Where did it go from friendship to money? How did that happen? Was she pretending like she liked you, like romantically?
Yes.
She was?
Yes. It was kind of like romantic.
Ooh. So you didn't, okay. And what's her first name? Was it Stacy, did you say?
Yes, Stacy.
Okay, is it S-T-A-C-E-Y?
Yes.
Okay, so she said she liked you. Did she say she wanted to hook up? You know, get together? Oh, I see her. I put in /Stacy Wilford, so she has big brown eyes.
And if you notice, all of her friends are only men.
Matt, does she have brown eyes? Are you there, Matt?
Yeah, I'm here. I heard. No, I think she had kind of like blue eyes.
She has, but it's
eyes.
I have Stacy Wilford, so it must be her.
All right, she only has 2 pictures. She has one in that white shirt. She's got blonde hair, and she's got a tan line on her neck.
Now, this woman is obviously fake. She can't. I mean, it's like a model. You know what I'm saying? It's like a model. Well,
yeah, I kind of picked it up.
It's blue eyes, but I mean, this woman is like spectacular looking. You know what I'm saying? It's like so.
Well, let me tell you this, Tom. There's more details and stuff.
But
right?
I can see why you sent her money. I mean, you know, this woman, she really does. She looks like a, you know, like a model, and it's obviously a fake. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not saying there aren't beautiful.
Ask me about this. Ask me about the marriage certificate. That came involved with the lawyer.
Okay, so how much did you send her?
$1,350.
And what was the money for? What was it for, bro?
She didn't tell. She didn't.
Well, how did she come up? How did she ask you for money? How did she do it? What did she say?
It's like the puppy face, the puppy love dog face.
Yeah, what did she say?
Well, she just needed help and all that for like maybe like groceries, or like her iPad or her iTunes or her iPhone.
All right, listen. So all of her friends are men. I mean, this woman, I'm not saying she's not real, but she's obviously not real.
She's a scammer.
I mean, she took this out of Victoria's Secret or something, this picture. I mean, this woman is not what you normally see on Facebook. I mean, it's just obviously, what I mean is it's obviously posed. Have you reached out to any of her friends? Because it's obvious that she's pulling a scam. Every single friend is a man. Every single one of them is a man. Have you noticed that? What did she say about all these friends? Who are they? Did she say? Huh?
Yeah, I think one of them, I picked up.
What do you mean?
That she was scamming. Somebody wrote on her message that you know.
I don't see her timeline or like messages. Where are they? Does she delete them?
I don't know how she does it.
Yeah, well, she does because, guys, she has no messages, right? There's no timeline.
If they're private, you have to be her friend.
So I'm going to ask him. Well, no, I don't want to get involved there. This
Have
woman,
Dan be her friend.
Dan, why don't you do it, Dan? Seriously, why don't you do it? I don't want to do it. Dan, do it. Because I don't even have a normal page, so if she looks at it, she'll see what I do anyway. So, Matt, I don't know if I can help you, man. I mean, do you have a phone number for her?
Yes, I do have the phone number.
Have you ever talked to her?
No, I have not.
Why didn't you ever call her?
Well, it's kind of like, it's like texting and all that.
What do you mean and all that? Why didn't you ever? But why didn't you ever call her?
I tried, but it just wouldn't go through. It's one of those Google, like text message or something. So she's got an unusual type of phone there that won't take, calls and all that. Just takes, text message. That's it.
My God, this is unbelievable. Her friends are unbelievable too. I got to take this break. We got to figure this out. Let's get the phone number off the air, guys. Okay? Let's get the phone number and text it to me. This is weird. 303-713-TALK. I will get to all of you coming up, I promise. This is listen, just try to be smart. Don't fall for this crap. David Salisbury is a spectacular attorney. Now, we have an attorney in studio today that does taxes. David Salisbury does estate law. That is trust, probate, wills, all of that. If you need help, call him. With a sudden need, somebody died, you don't know what your next step is, call him. But if you want to plan ahead, call him. If you need a trust, call him. If you don't even know what a trust is and you wonder, is it good for me, call him. He will answer your questions. He's a very good guy. He loves talking to people. He'll give you an initial consultation free. He'll answer questions by phone, 720-493-3911. Anything to do with wills, trusts, probate, 720-493-3911. You know, so many people call me when they're injured and they say, Tom, who should I call? And I say, John Fuller at Fuller Law. John Fuller has seen all kinds of cases on personal injury, and he can give you an honest assessment of that case. Personal injury is nothing to fool around about. The other side will always try to minimize your claim. The other side will always try to make you feel greedy or not entitled. You need someone who will fight for you. If it's someone else's fault, you should be paid. I mean, after all, if you broke someone's window at a house or you ruined their car, they expect you to pay for it. It's not something you can ever do on your own. So if you have a serious case, John Fuller will tell you and fight for you. 303-597-4500. Here's the deal. Don't let someone get away with it if they've injured you and you have all kinds of losses. You can't work. You have problems as a result. His website, johnrfuller.com. johnrfuller.com. 303-597-4500. 303-597-4500. Look for John Fuller on my referral list at referrallist.com.
Hey guys, it's Ross Kaminsky, and you know my background is in investing and finance, so I wanted to bring you a suggestion for a financial decision that could be a great thing for you. I'm talking about cutting back your mortgage term or lowering your interest rate. For many homeowners, my friends at American Financing have the best option for you to own your home free and clear in 15 years. That's right. By refinancing to a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage, you can eliminate mortgage insurance, consolidate high-interest debt, and even save tens of thousands of dollars in interest over the long run. Yes, tens of thousands of dollars in overall savings. Because you're borrowing money at a lower rate and for much less time, it can be a much better deal for you. And with a fixed rate, no matter where interest rates go, yours stays the same. Your monthly payments will never increase. It just takes one call to their salary-based mortgage consultants, 303-695-7000, or go online at AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 1. You know what? I did find it, but usually you can't. You right-click a picture, you know, if you in your browser, and you say search image. You didn't know that?
No.
You can search any image you want.
Okay.
It's cool. Have you never tried it?
I've never done like that. I've searched images, you know, like on a title of a company.
There's no reason not to, but lots of reasons too, such as top quality windows and doors.
I searched image, and I got
expert installers that are employees, not
got a lot of women. That's odd. No, that's odd that you can't find one other. It's classic.
Okay, Dan, I have two phone numbers for you. So this one's Stacy, and I guess now this is her sister. I know, this is where we need, Suzanne should have left her other cell phone so we could do that. Her throwaway.
Her burner. You guys should have a burner.
I know, there's not a way to text on online or anything, is there?
You have a Google voice.
I have to friend her.
But we'll, like a Google voice number.
Did you have her number? Let's call her.
I've got it. Well, no, they're text numbers. They're only text numbers.
What does that mean?
She won't pick
She's
up.
only set up on text. And then I guess he said...
How do you know that? Did you try?
That I'm going to try the second one. That's what I was asking. I thought he was setting it up.
Just call it and say.
All right.
I think this stuff is weird and it's sad. And
if you sell a $400,000 house and the agent charges you 6%, that'll cost you $24,000 for just a few days' work. Colorado Flat Fee Realty is a much better way. On a $400,000 sale, you would save $10,300.
Put money out of your phone.
so when I talked,
I thought somebody said he sent like $10,000.
Oh,
he only sent $1,300.
Oh no, that's all I do at $1,300. Yeah, he said I thought it was $1,300 even. He said $1,350.
about our
So, yeah,
granite
no,
because
I don't know who
Thank
takes
God.
that.
Mitch Floria, the owner, does business. He came to this country in the early 2000s with $300 and decided he wanted to be in the granite business. So he started Art of Granite. He meets you in your home.
I know people
and
are much
then
worse,
he
get much worse
makes
than that.
You know, she's taking all these guys.
You can pick whatever granite you want. You can buy what he has or elsewhere. He'll
And very well could not even be a girl.
He'll send you the wholesale price. You know, he doesn't make any money on the granite. He
Doesn't
uses
talk
his
to them?
contractor price.
Okay.
Fabricate for you.
Who's going to take the time to message each one of these friends? I'll make a letter, and I want you to copy and paste it. So who's going to do it? Seriously, I want to do it. Okay. I'm going to send it to you I'll send it to your email. Okay. Oh, and then copy and paste it.
Bathroom free right now. 303-386-5919. I promise you, if you shop around, you'll
Watch
at artofgranite.net.
Talking about the news that's happening as it's happening. Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Just to all of her Facebook friends?
Every one of them, yeah. Just copy and paste. I'll give you the message.
Okay.
Hi, Tom Martino, you're a troubleshooter. All About Bathrooms. What a spectacular company. Man, they do bathrooms that are high-end, beautiful bathrooms. I say high-end because they are, okay? That doesn't mean expensive. I just mean beautiful in every detail. All About Bathrooms, serving Bellevue South. That's where they go, okay? So Cherry Hills, Greenwood Village, South, Highlands Ranch. They go to Parker. They go south. And they have been specializing in bathrooms since 2001. That's all they do. So they just said, you know what? We just want to have one thing that we do right, and we want to do it to perfection. They have an in-house design staff that works with colors, patterns, textures, textiles, furniture, fixtures. You sit down with a blank slate, and they'll make whatever you want, depending on, of course, you know, what's allowable with your structure. But they'd be happy to draw it out for you, sketch it. They will do all the plans and build it, and they are not happy, they say, until you're 110% happy. 720-524-7546, 720-524-7546. All About Bathrooms. Look for them on my referral list at referrallist.com. Let's talk to Matt again. Now, Matt, we are trying to get a hold of her, and we're going to message all of her friends on Facebook to see if anything similar has happened, okay? You've never messaged those friends. We're also texting on the phone to see if we can get a hold of her. Matt, thank goodness you only lost $1,350. I say only because it could have been much worse. Do you work, Matt?
Well, right now I'm unemployed. I just got laid off. I was working with the company Savers. I only worked there for 4 or 5 months. They closed because they went out of business and stuff, and the rent and stuff.
Well, listen.
I found this out. There were 14 stores and 7 states closed with Savers.
Okay, well, that's fine. I mean, that's fine as far as Savers goes. I want to make sure you don't get ripped off again. Don't send money to people. We will try to get a hold of this person. I don't know what good it'll do. Maybe if we can find her, we can at least sick law enforcement on her. So you sent the money to New Mexico?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
What was the address?
I have the address.
Was it a P.O. box?
No, it's 7509 Arvada Avenue.
Okay, hold on. I want to write it down here so we can have it. I'm going to look it up on Google. It's 7 what?
7509.
Arvada?
Avenue.
Arvada Avenue, okay.
Northeast.
Northeast, okay. And that's Albuquerque?
New Mexico.
Albuquerque, right? Okay, Albuquerque, okay. Okay, let's look for it.
Do you want the zip code?
Yeah.
87110-4516.
Okay, that dash 4516, that is getting down. So, I'm going to look up that address. We're going to cut you loose, Matt, and try and get back in touch with you if anything comes up. I'm really sorry about this. This sucks. Summer, welcome to the show. What's going on with you, Summer?
Oh, just
Very displeased with the Pueblo Police Department.
Very displeased with Pueblo Police. It's a tongue twister. What? Why? What happened?
So, I was assaulted by my ex-boyfriend at my place of work, and it's been over a week, and he has not yet been arrested. He has not yet been
Wait a minute.
served with
How are you,
order.
Summer? How were you assaulted?
He choked and slapped me in front of customers.
Where is this in front of customers? Where was it?
So I work at a really nice high-end Italian restaurant.
Okay, you don't have to mention it then. And he walked into the restaurant. And
yeah, we had just broken up. I had moved my stuff out.
Okay, so you were broken up and you were working at this restaurant, right?
Oh yeah.
And he came to the restaurant to see you.
Yes.
And what did you do?
Well, he heckled me at the bar for a little bit, and I told my bosses to make him leave, but they said, "Oh, you're safe here." But he kept coming back, and he came back while I was working out on the patio, and just came up to me yelling, screaming, and then grabbed my throat, and then open hand smacked me in front of about.
And people saw it, right?
Yeah, and no one did anything.
What? They never. What do you mean they didn't do anything?
I had customers. I had male customers witnesses.
How many times did he slap you? How many times did he?
Only once.
And
only once.
Well, it's not only. I mean, he wasn't. So then he didn't continue. Then he let go. Did he leave after that?
Yep, he left after that. And
Now, did you get him arrested?
They haven't found him yet. They keep telling me they can't find him.
Wait a minute. He
has not been arrested.
Okay, did you have a restraining order on him?
I filed it after.
Okay.
This is after the fact. And
Has he violated it?
So, oh my gosh, so many times.
What do you mean so many times? What does he do?
Just calls from random numbers, texts. He's even shown up at the place that I'm staying at now. He keeps sending flowers to my work. I started a new job. I had no idea he knew where I worked.
Why? They didn't fire you because of this, did they?
No, I'm very grateful they didn't, but...
Okay, so you still work there plus another job?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you call Pueblo Police and you tell them that he's violating the restraining order, they say we can't find him. So they never even arrested him the first time?
For the initial assault, no.
This is unbelievable. We need to call the police department and find out why... Wait. Do you call him when he's there at your house?
Yes, actually, even when was it? It was Monday. I called to report the flowers that came to my work as a violation. And I was waiting for 4 hours for someone to respond to me. And eventually, I called them back and said, you know what? I'm just going to bring my evidence to court with me when I have my permanent hearing because you guys can't do anything.
All right,
the woman,
hold on.
The woman on the phone. Yeah, no, go.
There must be a way we can trap him. I mean, he comes to you a lot. Would you say he makes contact every day?
Yes.
Like at your place, at home?
Like, get this. He sent a pastor to my house
A pastor?
to pray over me.
To pray over you?
Yes.
No, wait a minute. This pastor, was it a real pastor?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
So what, this guy knocks on your door and he says, I'm here to pray for you?
Well, I was sitting out on my lovely little porch enjoying the sun.
And what did he do?
And I see a man walk up to me wearing cowboy boots and he has a Bible.
Yeah.
And he was like, I got a call that you needed help. And I was like, what? From who? You know, he's like, oh, your husband. I'm like, I'm not married. Like, I'm.
Okay. And then what?
And then he just asked if he could pray over me. And I said, yeah, you got to leave because he has no contact. Third party is a violation. So he sent someone else over because he...
No, I understand. I understand. Is this guy like... Let me ask you something about this guy, though, Summer. Is he dangerous?
Yes, extremely.
All right, hold on. This is... this is a problem. Let's call Pueblo and find out if they're doing anything. When they say they can't find him, that's weird. I want to know, is there an actual bench warrant out for his arrest? What's going on? Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan because they have a program for you. Ideal Home Loans with the pick your own term loan. That means It doesn't have to be 30 years. You can go to 16, 18, 23, whatever you want, you can do that. They also have credit optimization. You see, the costs are determined by your credit rating, so are interest rates. Yeah, and you can get that shaved down a little or get better pricing if your credit goes higher. See, a lot of companies just get you approved and stop there. Well, Ideal can get you approved and funded in 3 weeks or less, even with credit optimization. What they do is they get your credit report and they tweak it. Legally, they tell you, move this balance over to here, pay this one off, do this, do that, to get you more points. Or correct this, it shows you we're not at the address long enough, or whatever it is. They tweak your credit and almost always raise it a few points to get you better pricing. They also have the rate guarantee, so if interest rates go down, you get refinanced free of charge. 303-867-7000, 867-7000. IdealHomeLoans.com.
This report is brought to you by Hallmark Gold Crown Store.
Still big delays on the north end of town, southbound I-25 approaching 120th. Watch out for...
So what shows do you like to binge? Or do you not do that? I'm a total binger.
I'm full on into Silicon Valley right now, man. Have you watched
Oh, I heard about it. No, I'm going to write it down. You know what? I'm looking for shows. Here's the thing. Until I get my... See, I go through them, and while I'm waiting, I want to do another one. I have been so entertained recently, and here's what I say. We have more talent now in the entertainment industry for TV and movies than we've ever had, ever. You know, TV shows were so stupid when I was growing up and a young adult. You look at
sitcoms, man. I mean, that's all it was.
Or even like Dallas, you know, or those dramas. Look at Scandal compared to Dallas. I mean, God almighty. And look at stuff like House of Cards. Have you ever seen that?
I couldn't get into it yet. Like,
it's good.
It's on my list. It's good. I know. My problem is I got to commit, a month now.
I love Designated Survivor.
Oh, is that pretty good? Oh, check
You know what? Designated Survivor is scary. And I didn't think it would be. It's radio TV, but you know.
That, the other one I watched recently, I binged it.
That's not a reality show, is it? Designated Survivor.
No, it's about Kiefer Sutherland was the designated survivor that they sent to what do you call it? They have to sit out when all the government's together in one spot. They have one person designated in case anything happens. So whenever they have like the inauguration or anything major where more than 4 successions are there, like the president, vice president, speaker, and who's after the speaker?
Oh, Speaker, who is after the speaker?
Attorney General?
No.
Anyway,
okay.
So they have a designated survivor, and he became president, and he was a secretary of housing or something, and he was a little mealy mouse guy that stepped into this role. It's an unbelievable premise, and it's a good show. You will like it. Check that out. I can't believe you haven't seen it. It's a good one. But anyway, I literally keep track on my phone because I need entertainment online.
Silicon, you'll binge it. It's on its 4th season, but the first season.
Okay, then I will. It's intelligent, right?
It's HBO. It's really intelligent.
What's the name?
Have you seen The Leftovers? Yeah. Have you ever seen The Leftovers? Oh my God.
The Leftovers.
3 seasons. Okay. It's done. It's called The Leftovers.
Okay.
The premise is, on one day, October 14th of one year, of a certain year, 2% of the world's population disappeared. That's it. The entire show is based on that.
Oh, really?
They disappeared. Right in their tracks, wherever they were.
Yeah.
In an airplane, in a restaurant, in the movies, making love. They were literally disappeared. One woman was making love to a man. Well, that's what they speculate.
Yeah. Okay.
No one knows.
Interesting. The Leftovers. And Stranger Things is good too.
They don't have any.
I love Stranger Things.
Yeah.
That's done though, right?
That's done now. Well, they were another season's coming out, right?
Yeah.
They don't have any active warrants for him. When the cop said that there's 2.
That sucks. There's no warrants for him.
No. And she said it could be that the
you know
DA's
what?
office has
This
processed
is
it.
call the DA. This is wrong. Somebody's got to do something. This woman put in a police report that she was beaten. How can they not have anything showing up? Just call the DA's office.
Okay.
Oh, I watch Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Daredevil. I love those. House of Cards, The Americans, Billions. If you haven't seen Billions, you've got to see that show.
Okay.
It's about Wall Street. You have to see it.
Is it show or series?
It's Billions is, I believe, HBO.
HBO. Okay.
HBO is hot. Wait, you told me what I want to put down. What is it?
Silicon Valley. It's a comedy.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's fine. So it's not like on your seat, on the edge of your seat or anything.
No, I mean, I binged
But
it.
how good is
like,
it?
It rolls. It's good.
Does it continue? Does it have storylines?
Yeah, the first season in and of itself is worth watching. The last episode of the first season, I was literally crying, and everybody I talked to, you know.
Is it good as Seinfeld?
In some cases, better.
I gotta see it for that reason.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
Hi, Tom Martino, your
Troubleshooter. Off the air. Do you know what we were talking about? If you were listening online, you do. But I'm not going to tell you right now, but I might because I want to get your recommendations. So Facebook, by the way, does anyone have a clue why we have 3 or 4 people that log into my site. They all have their own name and username and password. But when we log in under my personal one, and we're all administrators, when we log into mine, you can't post anything or you can't see the timeline. I've never seen such a thing. So Pueblo police say they don't even have a warrant out for this guy's arrest. So wait a minute. You call the police, you make out a report, they even have witnesses that this girl was slapped in a restaurant and hollered at. Summer, did the police come and get witness statements too?
No.
Wait. When they showed up at the restaurant, no witnesses came forward?
None.
Well, did you say to the police, by the way, there are some witnesses?
I did, and I gave them there's one woman that gave me her contact information that said, if you need anything and you need me to be a witness, let me know. So I gave them her phone number, but as of that, that was it.
Why did they not issue a restraining, they did issue a restraining order. Why did they not do an arrest warrant?
They told me they would, but then they proceeded to tell me that a warrant takes 2 to 3 weeks to process.
This is crazy.
Like, I've never been arrested. I've never gotten a speeding ticket. I've always paid my taxes.
Listen, Summer, we're going to mark this as a follow-up and follow it up. That's all I can tell you because it's going to take more time than now. We need to call the Pueblo PD. Pueblo Police. Say it really quickly. Go ahead, Steve Sissick. Go ahead. Say it. Pueblo Police.
Pueblo Police.
Say it quickly. Pueblo Police.
Not going to say it quickly.
And the DA. And no, seriously, we are going to call Summer. And then they have a restraining order that's being violated all the time. So we will take care of it. Speaking of Steve Sissick is with Larson Tax Relief. Okay, so they're here to answer questions. We've had a few. We have some by email. And they want this question I get a lot. How long should they keep their tax returns?
Generally, it's good to keep them for 3 to 5 years. But the IRS actually has a term in the code that says you keep them as long as they could be subject to audit, which could be as long as 10 years.
Okay, so 10 years would be the absolute safest.
Right, but I would say 3 to 5. I mean, if you're filing a 1040 ES, you can pitch that thing after a year.
Well, yeah.
It's pretty.
But you're talking about, complicated ones. I would keep it then, especially if they say, 10 years. They're subject to 10 years of going back to audits and stuff.
But 10 years is how long they can collect on a debt. So
it's not the normal 6-year then statute for collection.
Right. So the statute for collections on any debt that's owed is 10 years from the date of filing or the date of assessment.
For
so it's
the
a
IRS.
decade.
All right.
And it's usually you have to keep that information, and they can always hold you to have it.
Thank
so
you.
Keep it around.
Mary, what's going on? Mary?
Hi, Tom.
Hi. What's happening?
I have a tax question.
Yes.
I wanted to know if a net operating loss can be used by a person, or is that only for business? I had some.
Now, what do you
jewelry
mean by
stolen.
Oh, I get it. So can you have casualty losses as an individual?
Right.
You can. I mean, it depends on the function of the entity that you're taking the loss from.
But what if it's her, just her? You lost your wedding ring. You lost something worth a lot of money. I was always told if you did not have, if it's not deductible, or if you never took a deduction or you never took income for it, you can't take a loss for it.
No, you can take a loss. I mean, specifically if it's an insured item. And
so wait a minute. So if I lose something of value, where do I take that loss? Like on my 1040? Is there something for lost stuff or casualty losses?
There are casualty loss,
really?
Provisions for certain things, and typically it's and it's more of a CPA question.
No, of course it is.
It's something that you can do. Like I said, I'm an enrolled agent, so I did take tests on this, and that's where I'm drawing that knowledge. But ultimately, it would be a question for a CPA.
Here's what I Googled. You can only deduct losses not reimbursed or reimbursable by insurance or other means. You'll need to subtract $100 from each casualty loss of personal property. The total of casualty and theft losses on personal property must be more than 10% of your adjusted gross income, and that above 10% is deductible. So that's what it says.
Absolutely.
All right, so we have more coming up. Give us a call. Any problem, question, or complaint, or tax issue, 303-713-TALK.
Like my garage burned down or something, and then you don't get the full interest, the insurance on it, and then you can take the loss.
This Pueblo woman, this sucks.
Hey, you get choked out, and they don't show up and
Find somebody in the restaurant.
Yeah, like call the police and arrest them right there, kind of thing. Unless it's some map.
So this map of this woman,
yeah, it looks like that.
It's a trailer park, literally.
Oh, you know what? That's the office at this address, right? So this here thing right there. You think that's the office?
No, I think that is. So this is where she lives.
60 months on select.
You think it's
her actual address?
Plus, you get the remaining.
I don't think they're trailer parks. They're Adobe.
No, you're right.
You're right.
Yeah, because even on there's a single single story. Adobe's. Looks like.
I guess you could give her home address, and she's not doing anything illegal if he voluntarily sends her money. Right. That's on him.
Yeah, there's nothing against the law about a picture, about hiding your identity.
You could look under, what county is that in? You could look under to see who owns that house, too. Yeah. You get the tax records.
And then just send that link to MTV. And that dude shows up, whatever his name is. He got some weird
That's right, wasn't that an MTV?
Yeah, the guy who does it has a weird name. It's like, I can't even think of it. It's really kind of dumb. Like Zed or something.
That's right, I forgot.
Yeah, the whole catfish, man.
What is that?
It's called Catfish. It's on MTV.
Oh, I watched that show.
What's
I love that
guy's name? The guy has a unique name.
Lev or
wait. Nev, or something like that. Neve. The Neve?
Something.
Yeah.
Okay, here are the shows. I like the superheroes. You don't like this, right? Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Daredevil.
I watched Daredevil. I thought that was well.
And Arrow.
Yeah, Arrow I got into for a while, but they just kept going.
Then they got weird.
Yeah.
They got too weird.
Right.
Okay, House of Cards, The Americans.
The American, that's where they're the spies or whatever. Yeah, I haven't yet gotten into that.
Billions.
Billions in a
Scandal.
try. Scandal, I've heard a lot of things about that one.
Now, I heard a lot about Anarchy. No.
Sons of Anarchy.
Yes, yeah.
That one, I guess, was on the level of Breaking Bad, like from what my friends have told me. Like it's binge like 5 seasons. It's just like you can't look away kind of thing.
Really?
You gotta commit. You gotta commit your time. That's one of the problems. Is like if I get a new show, I gotta get sucked into it, man.
What was the other one? Stranger Things. Isn't that coming back?
They got another season coming out next year, I guess. If you're into some.
Oh, how about Westworld? Westworld's good.
People say that's good.
Yeah,
I watched it though.
It's good.
But they are too far. They're not even going to have another season. They take like 2 years. I don't know.
The production value alone on that. I mean, it's like doing a movie. Those things.
Yeah, so it's like doing 100. How many movies? 13 movies. There have been some strange. There's one that doesn't continue or anything. It's like the old Twilight Zones called Black Mirror.
Oh yeah. I watched a few of those.
God, they're good.
Yeah.
I never filed a case. The cops didn't do anything. There's no warrants out. There's nothing. The only thing that there is the restraining order. I called.
She can do a case now. She needs to go and file it.
Because I mean, they came to her restaurant and got all the witnesses and like all the other statements, and she pressed charges.
So
and
yeah, so they dropped the ball.
I thought she had a court date or something.
She does
For
the restraining order.
Permanent restraining order. So they just need to file the paperwork. So she's calling and they're not following.
This is Pueblo.
Yeah.
Rough area.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Well, let's just, we have to look into it. We have to figure out a strategy right now.
Okay.
Feeling down.
Hi, Tom Martino here, your troubleshooter, and we are solving problems, answering questions, and taking complaints. All you have to do is give us a call. We have so much going on. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Here to help you solve problems, answer questions, and take complaints, okay? Well, let's go. And we have, what's his name here? Is this Demetrio?
Demetrio Garcia, yes, sir.
What's going on, Demetrio? How can we help you, sir?
Well, I had an incident happen on the 6th of June here in Walt County in Windsor, Colorado.
Yes.
I'm a semi-driver. I've been driving semis for about 24 years now. Okay. And I keep a little sledgehammer in my side box, a tire thumper.
Yeah.
They call it.
Yeah.
You know, check my tires.
Yeah, but usually it's a wood stick or something, like a bat, right?
Yeah. Well, it was an actual mini sledgehammer, a little sledgehammer.
Okay.
And there was a construction zone set up over in Windsor on County Road 23 and Eastman Park Drive. Okay. And I went. There were several company trucks from the company I drive for that were going through this same construction zone.
So you were driving through this construction zone, right?
Yes, I was.
And what happened?
Not only me, but there were numerous other drivers that work for the same company I do. All the trucks are identical. They all look the same. But somehow these two construction workers pointed me out as speeding through the construction zone twice. Okay.
What do you mean pointed you out?
They said that my truck was the one that sped through that construction.
But when did they do that? I don't understand. Like what do you mean?
They chased me down after the second time I went through there.
They literally chased you down. How did they do that?
Chased me down. I saw them coming in they got in their pickup. Two guys got in their pickup. They came after me. I seen them in my side mirror.
Okay.
And so I pulled over to the side of the road.
What were you driving? What kind of vehicle?
A semi. I was driving a semi.
Okay, so you pulled over, and what happened?
I pulled over, and one gentleman proceeded to get out of the vehicle. I think it was the driver. And the other guy, he had already gotten out, which I didn't see him get out. Okay. And so I asked him politely. I had my window down, and I asked the guy that was standing by my truck, which was the driver. I asked him politely, because he said something to me. I don't remember what he said. But I asked him, so how do you want to, handle this, or how do you want to rectify the situation, or whatever? And
that's what you said, right? You didn't say.
Yep. I didn't get, confrontational.
Well, first of all, were they confrontational when they came up to you?
They were.
Without, I mean, they say, hey, what the F are you doing running through my blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, he would.
You almost killed us back there. You almost killed us back there, man.
I kind of don't remember exactly.
Yeah, okay. So you got the impression he was getting really in your face, and then you said, how do you want to handle this?
Yeah, and I told him politely, well, how do you want to handle this?
And what did he say?
And I don't even remember. It was just a blur that day. I mean, I went to go get out of my truck, and the other guy that was standing by my truck, I went to go get out of my truck, and I was going to check my tire. I had a low tire when I started that day on the front axle of my tractor.
Yeah. So you hold on. So you were just coincidentally, you were going to get out of the truck with your mini sledgehammer and check your tire.
I didn't have the sledgehammer in my cab. I had it in my side box.
So what did you do?
So I went to go get it to reach, to open my side box.
So, and did you open?
Gentleman punched me. I got my.
When you opened this, did he see what you were reaching for?
I have no idea if he seen what I was.
Did you get it in your hand or not?
I don't remember if I had it in my hand or not. After he punched me, it was just a blur. Everything was a blur. I mean, he knocked me out. He knocked me out cold.
Then what?
And then after that, I wound up getting arrested. They these two guys' witness statements.
Right.
I end up getting arrested.
What were you arrested for?
I was arrested for felony menacing with a weapon.
Okay. Well, okay, so not the reckless driving.
Not the reckless driving.
Demetrio, listen, I'm only hearing one side of the story, and I don't believe it. I'm being completely honest with you, because you don't want to call up and have a bunch of BS. You want to hear the truth. I'm sitting here listening, and everyone in the studio's eyes were rolling, and they're thinking that these guys got up and got in your face. And by the way, I'm not saying, by the way, that you weren't justified or you may have thought you needed to defend yourself. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, it sounds like, now when you say in the side box, is that outside of the cab?
Yeah, that's outside of the cab.
So it sounds like you jumped out of the cab, went over to your side box, picked up a hammer, and then they defended themselves. That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? That's why the police believed it, because there's a hammer there that you keep in your side box. And truly, Demetrio, I just have to tell you this. I don't believe you that you got out of the truck and at that moment thought to check your tire, so you reached into the side box. Really, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. And wouldn't you rather me tell you that, but face to face, or we're not face to face, but I'm just telling you that rather than talking about you when you hang up. But you're telling me, well, I had that low tire and it was on my mind, and at that moment I just, of all things to think about, here you are in the middle of a confrontation, but you're thinking about hopping out of your truck, getting into the side box so you can check your tire. No one's going to believe it, Demetrio. No one's going to believe it. So in fact, I think it's not going to do you a service if you use that in court. I think people will see through it, and it'll actually count against you, in my personal opinion. What I think you should do is what I shouldn't be telling you this, but I think it's the truth. And I think what I would say is, I felt threatened. There are two construction workers getting in my face and yelling, and I wanted something in my hand in case things turned ugly. That's what I would say, because it's the truth. You'd have I think you'd have better luck with self-defense than saying, I was getting out of, here are these guys in your face, and you're saying you're getting out of your truck, and you happen to think about that tire, so you thought it would be a good time to check it. You know what I'm saying? Even if that was true, it's an unbelievable truth. So, did you feel, Demetrio, be honest here, did you feel threatened?
Yeah, I did.
Of course you did. Yeah, are you a big guy, by the way?
No, I'm not a big guy, and I'm handicapped.
Okay, how are you handicapped?
I've had 4 back surgeries, and I can't stand on my feet or my legs very long.
Okay, so here you are driving through there. These guys took, Your Honor, these guys took the law into their own hands, chased me down. Then they get in my face. There's 2 against 1. I didn't know what they were going to do, so I grabbed a hammer just to show, just in case if something happened, and I never used it. I never so much as swung it. I never picked it. All I did was held it. But here they're going to say, I'll bet you that's what they did say, that you started swinging a hammer at them, right?
Yeah, I think that's what they did say. I haven't gotten their police report yet.
Okay, Demetrio, are you going to lose your job over this?
No. Well, pending the outcome of the case, if it comes out okay, then
you may listen. Self-defense, especially when there are no witnesses, self-defense is a good defense because you were threatened. I mean, I don't think. Now, this is what I do believe. I do believe you felt threatened, and I do believe you wanted to show them that you're not going to go down without a fight. I do believe that. I don't believe for a minute that you were going to try to attack 2 guys, because it doesn't make sense. If to grab a hammer and attack 2 guys, I don't think you were going to. I think I really do believe you were scared. That's what I believe.
Hey, Demetrio, did any of your fellow truck drivers stop by? You said there was a bunch of them, taking the same route.
One of them stopped and, kind of was speculating to see what was going on, but then he asked me if I was okay, and I told him I'm fine. Just go ahead and keep
Demetrio,
going.
And I don't want to make light of this, man. What part of town? What jurisdiction is this, by the way?
Wells County.
Okay. I really, truly suggest you call Joe Lazzara, criminal defense attorney. Listen, I talk about him on the show all the time, and this is a gray area. You know, people say, well, why do you have a criminal defense attorney? Because people get accused of crimes like Demetrio. Not everything's black and white. You know, yeah, I think if people are guilty and if people are truly bad people, they should be punished to the full extent of the law. But I think you are entitled to a great defense, and that even goes for DUIs and DWAIs when it's a gray area. Now, of course, there's no reason to get a DUI. You're an idiot if you do because you can use a designated driver. There's no reason to ever get a DUI. But if you get in trouble, if it's hazy, if it's questionable, or if you made a mistake and you just need help through the system, Joseph Lazzara, 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. Let's keep going here. Steve wants to know about capital gains tax, and we do have Larson Tax Relief with us. What's going on, Steve?
Hey, Tom. I sold a piece of land and made a little profit on it.
Yeah.
And I was wondering
how long did you have it?
I held it for 17 years.
Okay, and how much did you make on it?
$110,000.
And did you exclude any improvements?
Well, that's what my question was. So, I did some improvements.
What improvements
like a
did you do?
and that kind of a thing. That's deductible, as I understand
is it a house or is it just a land?
It was just a vacant piece of land.
And you put a driveway on it?
Right.
Anything that you did to permanently improve the property goes to the basis.
Right. I guess one of my questions was there was a homeowners association involved with the ranch, so to speak. Are homeowners' dues deductible from capital gains that I paid over those 17 years?
They're not. That's just sort of the general upkeep of the property. So anything that you add value to the property, like
mowing wouldn't either. Maintenance wouldn't be.
It's just the driveway, the value. Anything you could add to the basis of the property would deduct from your capital gains income.
And I wouldn't be able to deduct any of the taxes paid over those years?
No, you can't deduct taxes.
No, because it doesn't improve the place. It's
right. Okay, so only improvements.
Permanent, not just permanent improvements.
Right.
Like flowers you couldn't, right? But permanent. If you sodded the place, if you put up a fence, if you did driveway, if you brought in power, anything.
So if there was a special assessment for the homeowners association, which was a permanent improvement.
What was it for?
For a road, the main road.
Yes, I would argue that my assessment for a road for access was definitely. That's a how much. So how much with all of that? How much would all that add up to? All of your.
Probably about 8,000.
Yeah, so that would reduce it somewhat.
Yeah.
But then, do they still treat long-term differently than short-term, or is it all just capital gains? You know, Steve?
Yeah, so there's still, pending.
Long-term is what, 15% plus 5% state?
It's
20%.
12 to 16%, depending on where you're at.
Okay.
As far as that.
So roughly 20% with state.
Is what I'd pay because I held it long enough.
Right, over 2 years, so it's a long-term
over 2 years,
investment there. Yeah.
Great. Well,
okay.
Thanks for your help.
Thank you. And remember, LarsonTaxRelief.com, 844-LARSON-TAXes, their phone number. Jim, what's going on with you? Hello, Jim.
Hi. Had a little bit of an unfortunate circumstance where we went on vacation. We have some grandparents who live in Lakewood, and then they spend about half the year in another state.
Yes, Jim.
We went out to stay at a condo with them. And unfortunately, my daughter got pretty seriously injured when a part of the bed that we were staying on malfunctioned, and we're kind of reach our out-of-pocket maximum, about $5,000 for her. And the grandparents feel partly responsible. They're not really negligent.
Now hold on. Who owns the place?
They do. It's they live there about half the year.
The grandparents.
That's right.
And it's a home.
Condo, 2-bedroom condo.
Okay, it's a condo. So it's grandparents' condo, and the bed is what injured her?
That's correct. It's a Murphy bed where they've kind of got those really strong springs
and
at the corners.
And how old is the bed?
Probably 10 or 15 years.
Okay. And what were the circumstances like? How did it specifically happen?
So if you think about the way a mousetrap is very precariously held, it seems like the bolt that fastens the spring-loaded arm to the bed frame was just sitting there. So when my daughter went to kneel and climb into the bed, that released and cut up through the back of her leg.
Okay, hold on, because there's a lot to talk about with this one, and it's good to cover. Okay, 303-713-TALK. We'll go over all of it. Right now, though, I want to go over maintaining your car. And for that, you need Pro Auto Care. We have many great shops on our referral list, referrallist.com, and Al Aramis is the one I take my car to. Al is attentive. Well, he and his team, of course, attentive. They're all, of course, ASE certified. His own son has joined the team, ASE certified. He's a great kid. And the entire operation works because they believe in what they do. And that means honesty, which is so important when it comes to auto repair. They also are efficient and skilled. And you put all that together and you have a place that you feel good about leaving your car. They even remind you when things are due in your car as far as regular maintenance or recalls or anything that affects your car. They also have specials, often Martino specials. If you go to the website, you can find them. It's 303proauto.com. 303proauto.com. 2 locations near Evans and I-25, near Bowles and Santa Fe. And, of course, their phone number is 303-PRO-AUTO.
This report is brought to you by
Let's start off with the good news off highway. Both directions of Sheridan have reopened between 32nd and 35th.
So how do you want to do it?
All right, we're going to do pure water in this break. Between 32nd and 35th. Back on the freeway system. Second break we'll do Denver Spine and Plum Line.
Okay, could you give me, send me pure water, this one too.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, sunny and hot today with a high near 90. Tonight, partly cloudy.
We've only got, 5 more to do.
83.
So I looked up the address of where he sent that check.
I know.
Ray Romero. No, I looked up the name. It's a Ray Romero, 85-year-old man.
Well, it's not him doing it, obviously.
Well, then that's whose house
hold on.
it is.
So that's who the tax.
That little white house,
Yes.
you found that little white adobe
Yes.
house, right?
So that's the tax
Okay,
record.
now, I would call him.
Yeah, I have
Or
his
call
actual
somebody.
phone number.
Oh, my.
You want to do it now?
I don't want to do it live. I want to do it.
I'll do it after.
Yeah, do
after.
it. Do
Okay,
it.
I'll see if I can find
Just
him.
first, let's tell them what we found. Well, not first. I'll tell them what we found. Okay.
Okay, so I'll see if I can get him. Do I ask him if Stacy's around?
Yeah, and then say, well, I need to explain something. You know, just you're nice about things. Just tell them this is unfortunate, but we need to tell you something's going on, and we don't want the authorities to get involved.
Okay.
What's that?
Pure water in less than 30.
If you qualify, we may even be able to reduce your tax debt down to a small fraction.
Catfisher.
So don't wait until the IRS seizes your property and garnishes your wages.
15.
Call 800-506-0552 and get your tax problem resolved once and for all. That number again is 800-506.
52. 800-506-0552.
When it comes to your water supply in your home, there are so many things that you need to know about. First of all, you want to make sure that it's healthy. And almost all water is a bit unhealthy because of the stuff in it. Even with government standards, you still have trace amounts of medications, sediment, metals, and other materials. So filtration, in my opinion, is a must for health. Otherwise, buy bottled water. And then when you're bathing, you absorb that water, and when you're showering. So I think water filtration is basic in all homes, and that's why I took on Pure Water Choices as a client. Because this industry is riddled with liars and ripoffs, and I wanted someone who was pure. Pure Water Choices. Let me tell you what I mean. We have a master plumber who is the boss, Al, and he knows water, and he knows the systems that can filter your water without a lot of hocus pocus. Yeah, they don't have tons of different products. They have a whole house water filtration system, or they have point of use water filtration, and then they have water softening if you want it, but that's not for health, that's just for comfort and for your plumbing. They have all kinds of choices, but the important thing is that they're honest choices at purewaterchoices.com. No hype, just the truth. purewaterchoices.com. 720-219-7818. 720-219-7818.
Sean Hannity.
Don't tell me the media in this country does not have an agenda.
Don't tell me that they're fair, balanced, and objective, because it's a lie.
Later today.
I hope that Dimitro gets a son attorney. He doesn't get an attorney.
He'll be screwed.
Guarantee you. Is that Dimitro?
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have an attorney, or you know that. Man,
he's making sure.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Who's this music? 303-713-TALK. Let's talk. What's going on with Jim? His daughter was injured at Grandpa's and Grandma's, but here's what happened. She was sitting on the bed. Is that what's right? And then it gave away or something?
It was about 5 o'clock in the morning, and she was coming in from where she had been sleeping. Was going to climb into bed with us, so as she went to kneel on that top corner of the bed.
And you were sleeping in that bed? You were sleeping in that?
Correct.
Oh.
Yep.
And then it somehow cut her. How bad is the injury?
12 centimeters, about 6.5 inches long, 2.5 inches deep, 2.5 inches wide. So it took
My God.
27 stitches on the outside.
Is she going to be? Is she going to be scarred for life?
Scarred, yes, but full functional. We got really lucky. An artery wasn't cut. It did cut a little bit of the bottom end of her quadricep.
How bad cosmetically is it? For a girl, it's important. Where on the leg is it?
It's right across the bottom end of her thigh, or I guess halfway up her leg, but it's right on the...
How long did you say it was? How long?
About 6.5 inches. She's 8 right now, so we'll see how long it gets as she grows. But
here's the thing. If it was an extraordinary damage, and she lost the use of her leg, or it was short, or something happened where it just truly was extraordinary damages, let's say, $250,000 on up, I would say you go after the manufacturer for a defect, because a good attorney might make the case. I can't visualize it. I don't know if it is, but that's where I'd start to explore. If it was extraordinary damages, it would never be worth going after with this amount of injury, because you will find no experts and no attorneys willing to put up the money for the experts, so you have no case unless you want to bankroll it. And what would you get in damages? Nothing compared to what you spent. So it's just not feasible. Let's put it that way. So now let's talk about homeowners insurance. Your grandparents or her grandparents, are they your parents?
They're my wife's stepdad.
Okay, all right.
Grandparents, so step-grandparents.
All right. They have homeowners insurance that would cover medical bills and all of that based on what happened in the house. And I think they wouldn't even put up too much of a fight. They would probably just cover everything. Anything beyond that would require a lawsuit, because no one's going to voluntarily settle. And that's again a lawsuit. And in order to do that, you have to sue the grandparents, and then the grandparents would have to go to their insurance. But here's the deal. The grandparents would have had to have known about this. I mean, the lawsuit against the grandparents will go nowhere, because they would have to know a dangerous condition existed and refuse and not deal with it. And it's a whole litany of stuff that wouldn't hold up here. It just wouldn't hold up. So the only reason you would sue the grandparents is in the hope that when they go to the homeowner's insurance, that the homeowner's insurance would settle with you for some amount. It's even doubtful, though. But that's the only hope, because you would never win a lawsuit against the grandparents, in my opinion. So the only hope you have is that they would cave and settle for a little more money than what they probably will voluntarily pay, which is all of your medical bills. Have they submitted it to their homeowners?
They did call them, and we got a message from the insurance, and that's where I was kind of looking for advice on my part. What should I talk to the insurance about? What should I provide them?
Everything.
Do I need to request from them in writing?
Everything. I mean, you got to provide everything. You're asking them to pay for pay for it. There's nothing wrong with it.
I'm also looking at. We have a really good relationship with the grandparents, so there's no interest in suing anybody in this case.
No, but that's the only. When I say that, that's the only way you get anywhere is by suing. You can't do it any other way. I'm not saying you sue them because you don't like them or because you really think they're negligent. The only reason you would sue them is to hope that the insurance company would settle, because you won't win. They're not responsible. You won't win.
from one perspective, they're looking at it almost like they're responsible in some way, just
But why?
from a relationship standpoint.
Well, if they feel responsible, first of all, here's my opinion objectively, not a legal opinion, my opinion. They're not responsible. You'll never win a lawsuit against them. The only hope you would have is a manufacturer defect or a product defect, but that in itself is only if you had extraordinary damages, and you may not even win that one. But that's more likely than any other case you have. And then, of course, actual damages from the insurance company, I think you can get the medical, just because it's homeowners insurance, and there doesn't really have to be negligence. The other thing is, they feeling personally responsible. If you are asking me, should I take money from them? Well, that's between you and your wife and your daughter and them. I mean, if they feel responsible, let them pay for the medical bills, but they don't have to. Their insurance company will. So are you asking, let me ask you straight out, what are you asking for? Are you asking for money beyond the medical bills? What are you looking for? Just be straight.
No, not. It's almost even trying to get both perspectives, because I'm trying to help them understand they don't even know how to handle the situation. So I'm thinking they're looking at it that they may only have, say, $1,000 in medical bill coverage on their homeowners, and then they're wondering, well, now, do we pay an extra $4,000 to them just to make the situation right between all of us? And so I'm kind of wondering, what if I was in their situation, what would be the advice that someone would give to me if I
Well, if I was in a home, if the grandparents called me and said this happened, what should I do? I would tell them to submit it to their insurance company, and that's it. I would say, did you have knowledge of it? No. Did you have any idea? Absolutely not. Then you're not responsible for anything. Just submit it to your insurance company. And then they might ask, and what happens if your insurance doesn't pay? I'd say, well, then, you have to work it out. If you feel like paying for it, pay for it. If you don't, don't. That's what I would say to them. But here's what I want to know, Jim. Are you looking, you got to tell me straight up, are you looking for anything beyond the actual medical bills?
No, absolutely not. I'm just thankful that nothing worse happened.
Then you will not have to worry about it, because I think the insurance company will take care of it. I really do.
Okay.
The homeowners insurance, the homeowners insurance, they're asking questions, right?
I've only gotten a voicemail to start the conversation from them. So this happened a couple of weeks ago, and they're just sort of getting the ball rolling now.
Okay. Well, you can call back if you need any help. And, you can also call, I always say, John Fuller at Fuller Law, he really is a good attorney. Okay, so if you ever want to reach him, you can call him. He's on our referral list at referralist.com. And it's personalinjuryco.com. If you ever want to talk to him, he will talk to you. Speaking of talking to attorneys, I'm surrounded by them. David Salisbury. Okay, well, David, you wanted to talk about documents that people need?
Well, what I want to talk about, Tom, is you and I both know everybody needs a will. However, if you're at a certain age and you're worried about how your health's going, if you don't have powers of attorney, you need them. Either you need both. You need a general power of attorney, which handles everything financial for you, and you need a medical one to handle everything so someone can speak for you if you can't speak for yourself.
That's something we don't think about, David. We don't think about it. Can you do it ahead of time, and it only gets invoked under certain circumstances?
Yes, sir. Almost all of them that I do say that only upon a doctor's certification are you then deemed to be incompetent.
That's a good idea.
The last thing I just want to say is, at a certain age, things can change very quickly. And if you don't have these powers of attorney, someone's going to have to go to court and get control. It
gets messy, and that's what you want to avoid. David Salisbury on my referral list at referralist.com, 720-493-3911. 720-493-3911. That's David Salisbury, and he's a good guy. Hey, speaking of good people, Approval Reverse Mortgage. If you need a mortgage, you've heard me talk about mortgage companies, but reverse mortgages are special. If you need a reverse mortgage, I only recommend them. Why? Because they're not going to slam you into a loan. It's not for everyone, and they know that. That's why Joan Sullivan will take a look at your situation and advise you properly, okay? That's why I love them, because they don't do loans for everyone. 303-771-3528, approvalreverse.com.
From the L&L
So that was a waste, but let's just be on, let's all get on the same ticket here, so we have no more surprises, right? Plumline, Rockies, Denver, and Paradigm, right?
Starting at about Alameda, heading north towards Colfax and southbound I-25, south of the Mousetrap, a bit stop and go on the approach.
David got a double
As well.
Yeah.
Weather forecast. Sunny and hot today with a high near 90. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 59. Tomorrow, sunny and warmer, a high near 90.
He's buying lunch.
So Denver's fine right now?
Denver's fine in 20.
9. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 KHOW.
This report is brought to you by Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware equipment. It's also your neighborhood place for craftsmen, the most trusted name in tools. They help you find the best craftsman pattern. Denver's fine in 5. Storage chests.
Toolboxes and more at Ace, the helpful place.
You know, I told Mark Major, my associate and co-host here, I told him I would never, ever hold back if I did stem cell therapy and it didn't work, because he said, what are you going to do if you do this and it doesn't work? I said, well, I'll explain it. It doesn't work 100% of the time. Everyone knows that. I would explain it, but I'm lucky. It did work. My lower back has never been better. And they even thought, you know what, backs, yeah, we'll give it a shot. It wasn't so specific like a knee. Knees are perfect. Elbows are perfect. They're little small joints, and they know where to go, and they have tremendous success with stem cells in those areas and joints. The back, it's such a wide area that you got to really, hone in on where it's hurting, and it worked for me. And I'm telling you, and they also did my knees because they wanted to show me, and I'm going to be checking up on that the joint space will actually increase. Even though I didn't have specifically knee problems, they did it as a preventive. Stem Cell Institute of America doesn't expect you to pick up the phone right now and make an appointment without knowing more. That's what happens at their seminars. You find out more. Wherever you are, there's probably one near you, the Tech Center, Littleton, Boulder, Fort Collins, Denver, and all you have to do is call for a seat. You will learn what you need to know to make an educated decision about stem cell therapy. Your solution for pain, you can avoid surgery in many cases. It's really a therapy that has been around for years. And thank goodness, because it literally grows new tissue. 855-262-4040. And by the way that improves your body is because it can open up joint spaces. It can make them younger again with new tissue. 855-262-4040 for a no-obligation seminar. Then you make your decision. You can't ask for, there's no loss here. Just go and find out about it. 855-262-4040.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and talk radio, which means you can take KHOW with you wherever you go. But there's so much more than radio. Tell us about an artist you love, and iHeartRadio will create a custom station just for you with their biggest hits and similar artists. It's that easy. And as you listen, thumbs up or thumbs down songs, and we personalize the station.
Good calls today.
iHeartRadio is not just radio, it's all your music too, plus talk radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app and do it now.
Champion offers everything I wanted.
Experience what others are raving about with Champion windows and home exteriors. Improve your home's appearance with new windows, siding, or sunroom. And now, during Champion's Summer of Savings Sale, you'll
So this Facebook thing, how frustrating.
It looks like the pictures just tore right out of the magazine.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it on the this is
The woman?
it's
Yeah,
so
the woman.
typical, like, you could probably Google the image and find it on Google.
I don't want to brag or anything, but
It's like George.
my pictures look like this.
Hey, you should start getting people to send you some money, Tom.
Do you remember the Seinfeld episode George had the
layout?
out of the magazine?
Yeah, she'd be so pissed if I was showing. But look.
I totally agree. You're right. That
mean,
is a natural beauty. I agree.
These are real. This is my money. That's real.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, I would think people could say, "Come on, bro." That's because when I saw him, I thought, you know what? That's kind of weird.
Is he getting like is he a realtor or something? Why did you get
No. You're not like they all have. Who am I doing? No, she's a TV reporter.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you want to make more
Why
money.
why does she have headshot? You know, trying to figure out.
Plumline Services for all your plumbing, heating, cooling, and electric needs. Listen to this, okay? They have a drain special. And by the way, the reason I love them for drains, it's so important. They have their own drain division. In fact, you can cut loose on all of these problems with drains and just call Plumline Direct. Because most of the time, they will, not most of the time, they use only their own people. But the other people have subcontractors. They don't own the backhoes. They don't own the equipment. They don't know how to do drain work. They don't own the big giant snakes. So Plumline Services for drains is a no-brainer because you don't have any markup. You go directly to them, and they will give you the price up front. That won't change. And also, they have this one thing that I love, and that's 93 or free. That means if you have anything wrong with your drain, it'll cost you $93 or nothing. In other words, if you have a serious problem that can't be fixed, if they can't get it through, if you need a new drain line or a section of drain line, you pay nothing. So it's $93 to get it cleared or nothing. $93 or free. And if you do need a drain line, of course, they'll give you a full written report. 303-586-1086. 303-586-1086. PlumlineServices.com.
Want to know what's going on? Follow us on Twitter at 630KHOW.
An iHeart radio station.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. All right, so we have Larson Tax Relief with us. Lynette has a quick comment on Murphy beds. Everyone calls them Murphy beds, but really that is an actual brand, and they're hide-a-beds or whatever the heck you call them. But Murphy bed is the actual brand. Lynette, go ahead.
Right. So what that guy needs to do is Google the manufacturer and the model number to see if there's pending or existing litigation regarding that particular defect.
That's good advice. That's good advice. You're right. There might be something already that has been done on that.
Typically when there's a defect like that, that's not the first time that's ever happened.
That's a very good point. Are you a lawyer?
I am not, but I was involved in a similar, different case, but I was not the only person that was severely injured by a defect in a product.
So when you were injured, you Googled it and found out that other people were injured?
Well, no, it was before Google, but since then I've learned that in cases like that, what I learned from my injury was that typically you're not the only one.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. That is. And she said before Google, remember those days? OMG! Seriously, I don't even know what I would do without not just Google, but the Internet. I mean,
library.
The Internet has, oh, I know, the Internet has changed lives. Wow. Okay. This is serious. Go ahead, John.
Hey, yeah, I'm calling because I need some help. We have went through Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, everybody, even the doctor's office. My wife has a rare spinal cord disease. It's called Schurings.
It's called what?
Schurings of the spine. It's the fluid in the capsule of the spinal cord.
Wow.
Where it's contaminated.
How do you spell that?
I really don't know.
Okay.
Schurings.
It's S-H? It starts with S-H, Schurings? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Schurings.
Okay, so go ahead. How can we help you, sir? And I'm so sorry about this. How long has she been stricken with this?
Since 2000. She's had 8 back surgeries, 3 neck surgeries. She's in a power chair now. And it's just got done taking her arm, so she's bedridden. And we have been trying to get a Hoyer lift.
What is that?
It's a medical device to transfer her from the bed to her chair to where she can get out of bed.
I see. And so you can't find, they won't pay for them?
Well, they'll pay for a manual one, but I'm a disabled veteran, and I can't do it manually. I need an electric one. They have them. They're only $10,000. They're
only $10,000. Wow.
Oh, they go higher. They go higher.
So wait, where did you find this $10,000 one?
On the internet.
Yeah, just make sure you don't get ripped off. I mean, we can try to help.
Oh, yeah, I know, I know.
So listen, so you need something. Is this the kind of thing that almost like has a T-bar that she pulls up on, or is this something that wraps? Okay, but does it wrap around under her arms and lift her, or does she do it?
No, it comes down. It has like 4 teeth on it, and there's a mat that you roll underneath her.
I
that
see.
Have hooks.
Okay.
And it comes down, and you hook those up, and it brings her up off the bed.
Yeah, I'm seeing the pictures now. Okay.
And you can rotate it so that
it looks like an engine hoist.
Yeah.
It rolls up under the bed. It looks a lot like an engine hoist. So are you looking for the motorized one?
Yes, because I can't. My disability does not allow me to do that.
Well, I'm seeing them here for $3,000. I mean, but they're not the motorized one. Wow, I've seen some as low as $625, $700. And you can't use that at all. It has to be motorized.
Yeah, because of my ailment.
Jeez. And no one will pay for it because it's not medically necessary? Is that what they say?
No, they say that a manual one.
Oh, okay, because they will pay for that.
No, they'll pay for a manual one, but not an electric one.
God.
And
are you sure that with a manual one there is not one with enough? Do they make them with leverage enough to pick her up or not?
I can't do it. My shoulders can't do it, and my upper back. Like I said, I'm a disabled veteran.
No, I understand that, sir. Which war were you in?
I was in Somalia.
Oh. What is your disability? Is it your back too, or what is it?
It's my whole body. I have a spinal muscular disease.
I'm looking here trying to figure out, we do have some veterans organizations that have worked with us before, but see, it's actually for your wife, but
it's for my wife, not for me.
I don't know if that's
I have my power chair and everything.
Oh, you do? So you're in a chair too?
Yes.
Wow, you don't walk?
I can walk, but after 20 feet I fall.
My God, you guys are hurting.
Well, I spent 8 years in the Army and 3 years in the Marine Corps.
Really? Wait, you got out of the Army and went back in as a Marine? Yes. Did you have to go through basic training and stuff?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you do that?
No, I'm not kidding you.
Why'd you do that?
Because I love this country. I believe.
Well, no, and thank you for your service. But what I don't understand is when you were done with 8 years, what made you decide not to re-up in the Army? Why did you go to the Marines? This is just curiosity, but
I did want to re-up, but I didn't want to stay in the infantry.
Oh, so what did you do for the Marines?
I landed up in the infantry. FMF, Fleet Marine Force.
But what did you think you were going to do? What did you think you wanted to do?
Anything but the infantry.
I
was tired of beating myself up. Wow. And now I'm paying for it.
So listen, were you literally disabled from the time you got out?
Yeah.
So for how long?
Almost 30 years now.
Holy crap. All right. You
Tom,
need to leave your information.
Line 4 is Cliff. He has some good news.
Okay, line 4 is Cliff. Because I was going to say we have some veterans organizations we could contact. Cliff, what's going on?
Yeah, I've got one of those lifts sitting on the back of my truck. I'd be happy to donate to him.
Now,
it may need new batteries, but it does work.
Now, when you say sitting on your truck, is it part of your truck?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I buy, sell, and trade everything. I buy estates.
And you happen to have one?
I happen to have one. I've got a 15-foot box truck, and it's sitting on my truck kind of in my way.
Right now. That sounds like a God thing. That just happened right now.
Oh,
that is unbelievable. And listen, we might be able to get it refurbished or something. So wait a minute.
Need new batteries or something, but I've got one. I'd be happy to donate to that gentleman.
Oh,
thank you very much.
Cliff, this is unbelievable. John, did you hear that? That's unbelievable. This is
Thank you, Cliff.
It's like a miracle, right? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so let's have some holy music. Here's what I want to do. I want to have you guys hook up. Daphne's going to coordinate this off the air. Can you drop it off to you? Well, where are you, John? What part of town?
I'm in Aurora.
Where are you, Cliff?
I'm in Castle Rock.
Oh, man, this would be great. Cliff, man, you don't know how that is a wonderful thing. Hold on a second. Cliff and Daphne, you ask Cliff if he needs anything by way of publicity or anything, if he needs, because he says he buys and sells stuff. Maybe he can call us if he wants to get rid of something, or if he wants to buy something. Whatever we can do for him, we would love to help him.
You got it.
Rocky's Autos, 63rd and Federal, and they have something special going on tomorrow. They have, not tomorrow, I mean, they have on Saturday, they have something very special, and that is a Father's Day special. If you show up at the lot from 10 to 1, they have spinning the prize wheel from 10 to 1, plus you get to see some cars and meet some drivers from National Speedway. Here's what's going to happen. You go to Rocky's this Saturday, and in honor of Father's Day, they're going to be giving away tickets for those who spin the prize wheel. Well, you may or may not win, and it depends on how many you win. You can get tickets for the Saturday night event, which is racing, or the Father's Day Super Sunday, which is a monster truck show, and lots of other prizes. All you have to do is go to Rocky's, 63rd and Federal. And, of course, if you're there, look at their wide selection of used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans, along with 40 lenders to choose from, and great prices and great value. Rocky's, 63rd and Federal. That's Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic Center.
Crash down south being cleared on northbound I-25 approaching the Ridgegate exit there. It's involving a truck. Police are on the scene. Southbound
Stay out of his way.
Yeah. Left lane blocked due to a crash.
When I first was here, I said, why don't you get a urinal put in?
Yeah, it's got a little catheter. Fill the bag.
Look out for slow speeds westbound I-70 approaching Vasquez. Westbound I-270 is stop and go approaching Vasquez as well.
I just looked up on Craigslist and they had the Hoyer lifts too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
One electric one and a couple of pneumatic ones. One electric.
6:30.
I'm sure, after someone passes.
We could have stayed sale or something. It's like, what are we doing for this?
Exactly.
Get rid of it for cheap.
Right.
They're here to help you find the best.
Here they said they would do the wheelchair, powered wheelchair and Hoyer lift. It's electric one for $600.
There you go.
How do you make sure you get the lowest
That's
rate?
a lot better
Either
than
a
10,000.
refinance or purchase, or getting the right rate.
Yeah, that must have been absolutely top of the line, because the ones I seen was 4,900. Was
We have been offering our low rates since 2001. Loan programs to eliminate mortgage insurance and save you hundreds to thousands. Paperless loan application, quick loan pre-approval so your offer is accepted on your dream home. Purchases with only 1% down and no mortgage insurance. Take AIM, 720-895-0500. Get cash out for that home improvement without having to restart your term.
So you're the only lawyer in the firm?
No, there's
One penny of your spending habits. Call
5 of us.
Oh, really?
And then there's 8
Oh, okay.
Billion in fees.
Hey, do me a favor. I got to get out of here pretty quick after the show, so have your promo stuff like ready to go. We'll do it afterwards. Sorry.
0500. And MLS 298.
What do I have coming up?
We got Paradigm in about 60 seconds.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area.
Is tomorrow card day? You don't have it from last week?
I don't know. 30.
3.
For Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living.
Do kind of neutral ones, and I'll save these ones, because last week yours weren't neutral. That's why I didn't save them. Okay. 15.
A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care, as well as free information on senior living communities.
Paradigm in 5.
681-0573. That's 1-800-681-0573.
573.
Paradigm Interiors, that's what I say when people say, where do I go for floor coverings? I've done it. And you know what? These guys are for real. They have a beautiful big showroom on Evans, just west of Santa Fe as you're driving and you come to Pecos. It's right there on the corner. Yeah, Pecos and Santa Fe, just west of Santa Fe. Just Pecos and Evans, just west of Santa Fe. Beautiful parking lot. They have a big modern showroom with a selection of everything they carry. It's unbelievable. And what they do is have a design consultant sit with you, walk around with you, even go out to your house. You can get home visits if you want them. Just call, and they'll come to your home. You don't even have to go to the store. You can do everything from home. Or you can come in the store and then go to your home. Whatever you want to do, they'll do for you. And then after you pick what you want, they'll work up an estimate and get it back to you within a day or so. And then they schedule installation where you get someone else to supervise the entire job from beginning to end. So you deal with two people, the design consultant and your project supervisor. Meanwhile, Don and Matt are overlooking the whole operation, and they've been flooring Denver since 2003. The selection, I haven't even talked about it. Basically, anything you can find in floor coverings, you will find there. All first quality merchandise, no seconds or thirds. 14 years in business. Paradigm Interiors, 303-630-9204. 303-630-9204.
When the top stories are on the top of your mind,
A shooter at a congressional baseball game practice.
this is where you talk about them.
I'm just so disgusted by it.
Denver's talk station,
Everyone should be carrying guns. I'm totally anti-gun.
630 KHOW.
Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. If you need anything in real estate, buying and selling, you will never do better than Frank. 920-1622. And you know what? I have never gotten a complaint about the guy. Think about that. Only praises. Frank Duran, especially now in this competing market, you truly need someone to list your home that knows how to compete. Because I'll tell you why, even though it's a hot market, it's still imperative to get the most you can for your house. Frank Duran, 303-920-1622. All right, so let's keep going. And, of course, don't forget LarsonTaxRelief.com. 844-LARSON-TAX. They've been here today. All right, let's talk to Margaret. Go ahead, Margaret. What's happening?
Hi, Tom. I've heard your advertisements for the Stem Cell Institute.
Yes, ma'am.
In which you said you had treatment
Yes.
for lower back pain,
Yes.
and it was reduced, and then you don't remember it anymore. So what I would like to know, if you would mind telling me, was it for a herniated disc?
No. I have mild scoliosis. It's really mild, but I have compression down there, and it's always bothered me. Now, and I also have some arthritis. Years ago, I had some laser spine surgery. I never would have done had I known about this. And they went in and kind of opened up the nerve roots, and they called ablaze the nerves, which burned them really just to deaden the pain. And they did some other things like shaved off the arthritis or the bone spurs. So in essence, it did help me. It did not help me to the extent that this did. And I don't know why. I, honest to God, don't know why. So I had some discs that were compressed, but I had no herniated discs. And you'd have to ask them about that. Again, they have these seminars where they talk about all of this. But the main thing is, when you're done, you can also, of course, call them and talk to them. Right. But the main thing is that you almost always get some kind of relief. I don't know, about how much relief you get with herniated discs. I really don't know. Maybe someone who's had it done can tell you. In general, though, in the, let's say, the hierarchy of success, backs are not at the top. I mean, they really don't. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but they are so confident about other joints. And when it comes to the back, because there are so many different factors, I would say that the industry in general, stem cell industry in general, probably they view backs as more problematic.
I see. Okay, well, then I know someone who could be a candidate. I'll have him definitely look into the seminars.
Yeah, definitely. At least that, right? You can't go wrong doing that. All right, Chris, what's going on with you? Hello, Chris.
Yes, sir.
What's happening?
Mr. Martino, so my
my girlfriend and I, we're living in an apartment complex in Cherry Creek.
Okay.
And we are moving out. We're moving into a new building in the West Highlands.
Okay.
And so what has happened here, Tom, is we rented some door-to-door pods to store literally every belonging that my girlfriend and I have accumulated, since forever, everything.
All right.
And so we hired this company, Door-to-Door Pods, and we loaded up these pods with every worldly possession that we both have to store for a couple weeks until our new place is
Uh-oh,
ready.
it sounds serious, Chris. Hold on, because we're running out of time, and I want to help you. So I'm going to have Allie talk to you off the air to get the basics, and we'll try to get you back on tomorrow or get you an answer. I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino. Thank you, Steve Sizik, for being here from Larson Tax Relief. We appreciate it. And we're simply out of time. So remember, folks, I say this and I mean it. Save all your problems for me.
Are you a taxpayer deep in debt to the IRS? If so, then listen carefully to this special public announcement. Due to consumers facing difficulty in the ongoing U.S. economic downturn, the Internal Revenue Service is now accepting reduced settlements from individuals who owe back taxes.